Adams, number 42, on first down, getting about 3 yards. Now, the big story offensively for the Chargers, Gary Anderson out of the lineup. Let's take a look at their lineup. You see Babe Laufenberg at quarterback, Adams replacing Gary Anderson at the running back, Rod Bernstein is their H-back, Anthony Miller and Quinn Early, 2 young wide receivers, and Arthur Cox at tight end. Dallafour, Thompson, Rosado, McKnight, and Richards, a young, inexperienced, and largely free agent offensive line. Anderson out with a thigh injury suffered in practice. They hoped he could suit up. He's not even in uniform today. Laufenberg with lots of time. What a catch by Anthony Miller, the rookie from Tennessee. First down, Chargers.
Tim, this Anthony Miller is a first-round draft choice of the San Diego Chargers, and he's one of those guys that they really feel is going to be a great player for him. Now, watch on the left side of your screen. Babe Laufenberg really threads the needle on this one, and Miller gets up in the air and makes a great reception there, and that's the key. He concentrated when he came down with the ball because he could have felt like he was going to get his back broken by Van Jakes.
Van Jakes had the coverage, put a good hit on him, and the youngster held on. Number 1 pick, 12 catches coming into the game. First down, Chargers. They have been a slow starting first half team, and they want badly to get off the mark today. Adams picks up about a yard to the 40-yard line. Well, here are the inactive players today. Hobie Brenner, normally the starting tight end for the Saints, is out with an abdominal muscle pull, and Ted Gregory, their rookie nose tackle. Elvis Patterson, normally a starter on the corner for the Chargers, injured in last week's game against Denver, and Eric Sievers, the reserve tight end, sitting this one out on the inactive list. So 2 starters out with injuries, plus Gary Anderson, their star running back and leading rusher with 321 yards. Second down. Screen pass to Bernstein. Bernstein batters his way for about 6 yards. It'll leave a 3rd and 2. Van Jakes on the tackle. Rod Bernstein, the second-year man from Texas A&M.
He's a guy who originally they drafted him and said, well, he's going to play at tight end, but when they lost Kellen Winslow, they made some adjustments with Arthur Cox moving him over there. He's a big guy, about 260, 270 pounds, and that allows Rod Bernstein to play that H-back position, which requires more movement. He's a little bit lighter.
Got a 3rd down and 3. Lionel Little Train James is in, as he is frequently on 3rd down, and Darren Flutie, number 89, an extra wide receiver. Brother of Doug. Laufenberg running out of time, gets it off, and it's incomplete. Was he in the grass? No. Saints say yes, but the officials say no. James Gathers had the rush on along with Wilkes.
I guarantee if you ask Jumpy Gathers, number 97, he'll tell you that he was on the quarterback. He brought big heat that time for Jim Moore.
So the Chargers will have to punt. Ralph Mozienko, leading punter in the NFL, averaging 48.1 yards per punt, and he has been an active punter. This will be number 28 on the season. Flag is down. Quinn Early from the 5-yard line. Correction, make that Mel Gray, number 37. 49-yard punt, but we have a flag that will get sorted out for you right now.
You know, that happens a lot of times when that's an offside penalty, and that happens when guys jump across. They think they've read that the ball snapped already, and it has not been.
Was lined up in the neutral zone. That's a 5-yard penalty, and that's a first down.
Well, a big break for San Diego. Ben Greif marks it off against the Saints.
Tim, what will happen sometimes is either they'll line up in the neutral zone or they'll jump early because they're on the outside. That's the players on the outside of the punt formation. And, you know, they're looking in down the line of scrimmage trying to see if they're indeed offside. And if they think that they aren't, they'll stay there. And that time they got caught.
So San Diego has a first down at the 49-yard line of New Orleans. Al Saunders, the head coach of the Chargers, took over late 86. Last year led them to a winning season, counting the 3 strike games in which they went 3-0. And a real big turnover in personnel for Saunders this year, with Dan Fouts' retirement to the broadcast booth at CBS being the key one at quarterback. Curtis Adams picks up about 3. Loose ball, and the tackle made by
Ricky Jackson just
Ricky
came in and
Jackson.
just really was pile driving the runner. Now what he's doing is he's waiting in back, and that line will make their move, push everybody out front. But Ricky's coming right down the line of scrimmage and making those stops in the backfield.
I think Jackson thought the Saints should have had the ball.
Yeah, here you go. He's number 57. Now watch him close down on the backside of this play, avoid the trap block there, and then make a beautiful stop. That's the kind of thing you want from your backside linebacker. Your weak side linebacker fights off the trap block and gets the tackle.
Second down, the Chargers in the shotgun. Laufenberg, and it's complete. Anthony Miller, touchdown. "47-yard touchdown pass." Babe Laufenberg said he had to get something started early in this game while they have taken the early lead.
Hey, Babe Laufenberg and the Chargers are cooking with gas. Now watch Laufenberg. He's going to look off his receiver. Now watch him go downfield on the inside route. He hits early, and Anthony Miller, and he does the rest. He just explodes on this. Now watch the little wave goodbye to the defensive backs. That's the kind of thing that gets you in a little trouble later on.
Well, that's the kind of a rookie mistake they'll tolerate at the moment. The point after by Abbott is good. Vince Abbott converting, and so the Chargers have taken the early lead with 10:59 remaining first quarter, 7-0. Tim Ryan with Dan Jiggets at Jack Murphy Stadium, San Diego, where the Chargers have taken the lead. 7-0 on a strike from Babe Laufenberg to the rookie, Anthony Miller, 47 yards. And they won 80 yards in 7 plays, aided by the offside penalty on the fourth down punt that was charged against New Orleans and kept their drive alive. Abbott kicking off. Comes down short at about the 10-yard line, where it's Mel Gray returning it to the 27-yard line for the Saints. And Bobby Hebert will bring out the New Orleans Saints offense, passing at 63%. 9 touchdowns already, and he'll face this Charger defense, an aggressive, young, exuberant defense. Williams, Charles, and Phillips. Browner, Fawcett, Plummer, and Billy Ray Smith are the linebackers. Roy Bennett for the injured Elvis Patterson, Bird, Bayless, and Glenn. Now, they announce always a 3-4, but they play primarily a 4-3. In that configuration, you'll see number 93, Tyrone Keys, at right defensive end. First down, it is Craig Hayward, the rookie from Pittsburgh, plowing his way for about 3 yards to the 30-yard line. Offensively for the Saints, Hebert at quarterback, Dalton Hilliard, Hayward the running backs, Eric Martin, Lonzel Hill the wide receivers, John Tice for the injured Hobie Brenner, Dombrowski, Edelman, Steve Court, Joel Hilgenberg, and Stan Brock. And Hilgenberg becoming the starter with the injury to Steve Trapillo, who may be gone for the season. They're fearful that that's the case. Keys is in at right defensive end in a 4-man front for San Diego on 2nd and 7. Hilliard, and he is nailed for a loss. Charles, the nose tackle, blasting in and dropping Hilliard back beyond the original line of scrimmage.
Now, Tim, what Mike Charles has been playing exceptionally well in that defensive line for the Chargers. And this time on this play, he really just beat the he beat the offensive guard down inside. Now here he is right here. Now watch him just beat this play inside, because you're going to see the backside tackle try to come and cut him from the backside. He does not make it, and that's Dombrowski.
So it is 3rd down and 11. Hebert running out of time, unloads, and it is almost picked off by the linebacker Smith. Billy Ray Smith had it and dropped it. There were no Saints around in that area. Pressure came from rookie linebacker Joe Campbell on Hebert.
And Billy Ray Smith, had he not had that little calf injury for the last couple of weeks, he might have been able to get up in the air and stay up in the air long enough to make the interception on that play. But he told me that calf still bothers him. He doesn't have that explosion that he really wants out of it.
Yeah, he's missed 3 games so far. And it is blocked into the end zone. Touchdown. recovered the ball in the end zone.
Roy Bennett will be right in the middle of your screen. Now watch him get this punt. Now what always helps is you get somebody else to pick up that man that's the personal protector. And you see Roy Bennett, number 25, just comes through and he just slaps it down. And then gets up and does the rest, gets that touchdown. There he goes. I'm sorry, there he is down in the end zone now. And he recovered the football.
Point after is good, and the Chargers have jumped on top of the New Orleans Saints. It was Vincey Glenn who blocked the punt and Bennett who recovered for the score. Tim Ryan with Dan Jiggets at San Diego's Jack Murphy Stadium, where the Chargers have taken a 14-0 lead. And this second score came on the blocked punt by Vincey Glenn and recovered in the end zone by free agent Roy Bennett out of the Canadian Football League, who's starting on the corner today for the injured Elvis Patterson. And the kickoff rolls by Reuben Mays, who gets it at the 4. Tackled from behind and brought down at the 10-yard line. Jeff Dale, number 37.
Tim, what happened on this block punt is, now watch Vincey Glenn right here. He's going to come in and block the kick from here. Now, Dave Waymer is the personal protector. He's going to try to step over and block him, but he's going to miss him. And as a result, Vincey's going to get the block punt. There he goes now. And watch him just get airborne and slap this thing down. And then it is recovered in the end zone for the touchdown.
Roy Bennett falling on the loose ball. Brian Hansen, the first punt he's had blocked this season. And you can see San Diego has been in control from the opening kickoff. 2 miscues by the Saints have been costly. An offside on a San Diego 4th down. They kept their first drive alive, and then the blocked punt. Reuben Mays straight ahead for about 5 yards.
Tim, it's important to understand what has happened to the Saints at this point in the game. They've had some things get away from them very quickly. Now, an experienced football team will come back and say, okay, let's settle down. We know we're 14 points down, but we can come back on these guys. I'm sure Jim Moore's going to say, hey, look, offense, you got to put at least 1 touchdown on the board in the first quarter in order to get us back in this thing.
Cliff Benson has come in at tight end, number 86. Craig Hayward at running back. Second down. In motion, Eric Martin, the pitch for Hilliard. And Hilliard did not get much. A couple. Good defensive pursuit. Mike Charles tripped him up, the nose tackle, number 71.
Dalton Hilliard was testing that left side of his offensive line. Now watch on the left side of your screen. They're going to get some nice reach blocking over there. Hilliard takes it out, stretches the play a little bit. Now watch him duck it back up under there and go up the line of scrimmage. And the problem was that backside pressure is catching up with him. He's not getting those blocks on the backside like he really needs to be effective in the running game.
4 defensive substitutions now on 3rd and short. Bruce Clark comes in up front. Not Clark, pardon me. It looks like it's good for first down yardage. Lonzel Hill, the receiver.
True sign of a ball control offense. They just keep dinking it. 3rd there and short. Hey, they get what they need. They don't try to go downfield and go 10 yards downfield. They just take what they need.
Tyrone Keys, number 93. I had Clark, who, of course, is a Saint. 93 Keys for the Chargers at right defensive end, and they leave him in there now with their 4-man front. First down, New Orleans, from just over their 20-yard line. Slot formation to the right now. Hill comes out of the slot in motion. Quickly out for Martin. Martin lost the ball.
Goes back to the
out of bounds. Fortunately for him.
It goes back to the offense because when he fumbled that ball out of bounds, yeah, it hits the defensive back, but then it bounces out of bounds without the defensive back ever getting possession of it. Now here you're going to see on the right side of your screen, Eric Martin coming downfield. Now watch the stick really pushes the ball out of his hand. He's carrying it kind of loosely there, but now watch the ball goes directly out of bounds after hitting the defensive man, and as a result, it comes back to the offense.
Looked like Billy Ray Smith was the man who made contact with Hill to pry it loose. Number 54. But good fortune for the Saints there. They've not had much so far. They have a first down at the 37-yard line. Play action. Hebert under pressure. Gets it off. This is Hayward. for a pickup of close to 7 yards.
And Mike Charles, number 71 for the Chargers, jumped offside that time. Bobby Hebert just stayed in there, stayed very cool, but Charles jumped back across the line of scrimmage before the ball was snapped. Now, what offensive line coaches will always tell you is, hey, look, if that guy jumps across the line of scrimmage, snap the ball and catch him offside. But Charles just pulled himself back, and that's a lot of pulling back to get him over back on the other side of the line of scrimmage.
Close to 300 pounds worth.
One of my kind of guys.
Second down. And a long 2 for the Saints. Upfield now at their own 44-yard line. Dalton Hilliard. Off tackle for a first down in midfield. Vincey Glenn and Charles on the tackle for San Diego.
Well, I tell you what, the thing I really liked on that play, Brad Edelman, number 63, pulled out in front of that play and gave his running back, Dalton Hilliard, some nice space out there. Now, watch the spacing on this pull. You see number 63, that's Brad Edelman. Now, see, he got set up there by his running back. Now, watch him. He gets on the linebacker. He pushes Browner back. That's the kind of thing that running back can give you. A little dip inside and then take it back outside. Sets your line up very nicely.
First down. Saints are marching now, trailing 14-0. Monzel Hill in motion again. Pass for Hayward, couldn't hold on, incomplete. Little low. The rookie from Pittsburgh unable to grab it.
Do you know how frustrating it must be for defensive linemen with Bobby Hebert, that short drop, and look at that Green Bay score over New England. Now, think about how disappointing it's got to be. You know, you fight your way all the way back to the quarterback, and then you realize he's taking a 5-step drop and dumping the ball off. And that happens all day to you. It gets kind of frustrating.
San Diego, with that early start that they needed, a 14-0 lead here against a 4-1 team like the Saints, and a near interception. Gil Bird, the pass intended for Eric Martin, and a flag down right where the ball arrived. So we'll see whether or not Bird, yes, he will be charged with interference.
I thought he was going to get charged with 31.
Pass interference, number 22. That's a first down.
I thought he was going to get charged with dirty laundry for that bedspread he's got hanging from his belt. But here you're going to see the play. He's number 22. Now watch for Gil Bird coming in. Good pressure there on the bump and run, but then he stayed with it and cut right in front of Eric Martin. Now the problem was he was actually on Eric's back. He's got to allow him that space in there to breathe and catch the football. Gil Bird leads this team right now in interceptions with 3.
He's been bothered with a bit of a sore ankle, but he's been playing very well indeed, as has the entire defense. They're now at about second base where the San Diego Padres play here at Jack Murphy Stadium. The turf there is quite loose. Hebert out quickly to Hilliard out of the backfield for a gain of about 7. Billy Ray Smith on the tackle.
And going along with our baseball analogy, that was a Texas League single.
I guess, yeah, but that's the kind of offense that they throw at you. Hebert with the short passing game and his years in the USFL like to get downfield, throw the bombs.
There's that field. I walked down on it earlier, and you can see there, right there, the sod is coming up right in the middle of your screen just about. Now, that's the problem here is they relayed the sod in here only about a week or so ago, and as a result, it keeps popping up.
Second down and 3. New Orleans driving here. First quarter, trailing 14-0. Craig Hayward, and they stack him up. Gain of only about a yard. Joe Phillips and Keith Browner on the stop, along with Chuck Fawcett. You know, you could almost call this team the San Diego free agents. They've got 20 free agents, 12 of them starting. 7 of these players are from their strike team of a year ago that went 3-0, and 7 of those players coming back to stick on the real roster. And Al Saunders somehow has patched together all of these rookies and free agents, a few veterans mixed in, and has them at 2 and 3. 4 wide receivers in now for New Orleans. Hebert to the short man Hilliard. Hilliard has the first down. Typically high percentage play for New Orleans. Jeff Dale made the tackle.
Tim, you know, it's not unusual to get that many free agents, as you mentioned earlier on the team. Look at this, 20 on this team. The NFL average is 13. But I think that what makes these Chargers kind of special is the fact that these guys fight so hard. I was talking with Al Saunders before the game, and he said, you know, the thing that I really like about these kids is they never give up. It can be in the fourth quarter, and they're down by 20, 30 points, and they're still fighting you just as hard as they were from the first snap.
Well, that's the kind of spirit they've displayed, and that's why they've won 2 games, despite when you look at the lineup, people saying, hey, how can they beat anybody? But they've got 2 victories in the win column, and played Denver tough last week, at least on defense. Hebert, and he's got it out to Hilliard. It'll be close to a first down at the 18-yard line. Billy Ray Smith, the linebacker, had to pick him up out of the backfield. And Hilliard a little too speedy for the linebacker.
Well, you know, the one thing Bobby Hebert wants is to get those isolations, his running backs versus the Chargers linebackers, because that's a battle he's going to win 99% of the time. If you can get him manned up on those backs or even in the zone, as long as you can work the zone correctly and get in those seams and work them, then this offense of the Saints is going to be very successful.
And they have a first down. He got right to the marker. 18-yard line. Saints grinding it out in their style. 2:24 to go, first quarter. Another short pass out to Hilliard, spinning his way inside the 10 to the 8-yard line. May have another first down.
Once again,
Smith and Bayless on the tackle.
Once again, it's an isolation on a linebacker. You let that running back get out there, run one-on-one with that linebacker, and it's difficult for those linebackers to stay with a guy like Dalton Hilliard, who probably runs a 40 that's maybe 2 or 3/10 of a second faster than any of those linebackers.
They've used up 6:40 on this drive on 13 plays. And this is the kind of offensive football that the Saints have been very successful with. Cliff Benson comes in to join John Tice, 2 tight ends for New Orleans. It is second down and about a half yard. Hilliard again. Has the first down, hit hard at the 6-yard line by Chuck Fawcett. Fawcett's been bothered with a thigh injury. He was one of their replacement players last year. And you can see the Saints been pretty handy inside the 20-yard line.
Yeah, those are the kind of numbers you'd like to see up on the board if you're a Saints fan, because that means that you know what you're doing when you get down inside that 20, where you're supposed to get points every time you're down there.
There's Fawcett. And the Chargers have sent Les Miller, number 69, in replacing Charles on the nose. Miller goes about 300 pounds, 6'7", from Fort Hays State, Kentucky. First down and goal, New Orleans. Hebert. Another short pass to Lonzel Hill, and there were 3 Chargers draped all over him. Somehow he held on. Not a big gain, but credit to him for just holding on to the ball.
Lonzel's one of those guys who doesn't drop very many passes. He's not going to burn you deep many times with that outstanding speed, but he's a possession-type receiver that will catch the ball for you.
Shaking his neck a little there, and I'm not surprised. He was carrying some extra weight. Bird, Glenn, and Bennett all hanging on him. That's a lot to carry for a 190-pounder. Reaching the end of the first period here with second and goal New Orleans at the 3-yard line of San Diego. Wants to throw. Touchdown. No, incomplete. John Tice trying to stay in bounds, could not do it. Caught the ball, but he was out of bounds over the end line.
John did that little Texas two-step on the end line back there. He just couldn't hold on. You saw him stumbling trying to stay in there. Now watch him all the way at the back of the end zone on the left side of your screen. Now watch that little two-step as he tries to stay in bounds. Well, he's got some big dogs. You see him trying to sneak that one back in there. There's another look at it again at the bottom of your screen. Tice, number 82, is going to catch the ball, but those feet are clearly on the end line.
Yeah, the shuffle didn't work, and we've reached the end of the first quarter with the score: San Diego 14, New Orleans nothing. Tim Ryan with Dan Jiggetts, Jack Murphy Stadium, San Diego, on a brilliant sunny afternoon, where the Chargers have had most of the sunshine. 14-0. However, on this drive, the 16th play for the white-clad New Orleans Saints has them third and goal from the 3-yard line. 4 wide receivers are in. Hebert backpedaling, and he is hit. The ball is intercepted. Tyrone Keys hit from behind by Lee Williams. The ball went right to Tyrone Keys.
Well, I tell you what, Lee Williams is having an all-pro kind of year. Now watch him. He's going to come to the left side of your screen. He's already beat the tackle, stand block. Now watch him come around and hit Bobby. Just as Bobby's trying to deliver the ball, it goes directly into the hands of Tyrone Keys, number 93, and he does his best tight end imitation in trying to get downfield.
So San Diego stops New Orleans, and they lead 14-0.
And there's Lee Williams, number 99. He just made the big play on Bobby Hebert, knocked that ball out of Bobby's hands, and Tyrone Keys came up with the football. Williams has been having an exceptional, good defensive season for the Chargers.
3 sacks against John Elway last week in the Denver game. On first down, play action, great fake by Laufenberg, going deep, the ball hangs up, and Miller went up and nearly stole another one, but it is incomplete.
One thing you got to love about Babe Laufenberg is he knows when to get greedy. You're down there now. They don't expect you to throw the long ball. You know, he goes about 50 yards with that pass. Now you got the opportunity to jump on the other team. Hey, you do it. You take it to him. And that's part of his personality. A guy that's never given up on himself, and he'll certainly never give up in a football game. Brandon
Hugh Laufenberg, and he's the first to say he's had trouble getting going in the first halves of football games. He's been passing at about 40% in the first half and up to 60 in the second half. But he's off to a better start today. And on second down, Curtis Adams, number 42, gets it out to the 20-yard line. Adams in the spot normally occupied by Gary Anderson. For Babe Laufenberg, a guy that even during his college career tended to move around a little bit. He started at Stanford, playing behind Elway and Steve Dills there. Went to Missouri, gave that a try. Then Pierce Junior College, on to Indiana. And in the NFL, he's been around a little bit too. Cut 3 times by the Redskins. But the fact that they kept bringing him back must tell you something. They thought enough of him to keep giving him another shot. Adams hit at the 18-yard line for virtually no gain. That'll bring up fourth down. Johnson and Mills, the interior linebackers of the Saints, combining on him.
You see, that Saints defense has been doing a pretty decent job. They let a couple of things get away from them, but you think about the scores that San Diego's gotten. Really, one was that bomb, and the other one was the punt that was blocked in the end zone.
So the Saints defense doing their job. And Mosienko will hit from the 10-yard line. Mel Gray back for it. The ball bounces upfield and will be down at about the 44-yard line. So the New Orleans Saints will have good field position here when they have the ball when we return. 13:23 remaining. 14-0 Chargers. A lazy, hazy day at San Diego's Jack Murphy Stadium, but the Chargers haven't been lazy at all. They're up 14-0. But the New Orleans Saints, who are on the doorstep at the 3-yard line before the fumble recovery by Tyrone Keys, stop the Chargers immediately, and they have the ball now first down at their own 44. Reuben Mays for about 3 on the loose turf there in the infield area at Jack Murphy Stadium. Billy Ray Smith on the hit.
You know, I saw something that time, though, in the running game of the Saints that was pretty outstanding. I'll get to that in a second. There you see the San Diego points off of turnovers today, and that's 7. But Craig Hayward, Ironhead they call him, he might have done that, as a matter of fact, torn up that turf. But he came out and threw a nice block on the linebacker, and that's something that he wasn't used to doing when he was at Pitt. And we'll keep a close eye on that today to see how his blocking game is coming along.
2nd and 7. This is Hayward running, and running well for a first down to the 41-yard line of San Diego, tripped up by Vincie Glenn. 253 pounds of running back.
And that's a whole lot of running back. Now watch up front. Let's see what his offensive line does. Gets good blocking out of his center. That's Steve Court. Now watch him slip off, get the linebacker there. That's the key. He picks up that linebacker downfield, and that's Chuck Forsett, and that allows the play to go to that 5 to 7 yards downfield. But you got to get that center out and get him on that linebacker.
First down, you saw the offensive coordinator of the Saints, Carl Smith, on the sideline, a busy man during the course of the game. Reuben Mays picks up about 2. In fact, you'll see quite a bit of communication between Hebert and Carl Smith, especially on the passing downs. Tyrone Keys made the tackle for the Chargers. Hebert will frequently complain if the young receivers don't run their routes, and that's the guy he'll complain to. Expect him to go and talk to those kids and say, hey, guys, you got to run it this way.
Yeah, and Bobby will embarrass you out there if you're not on the case.
They're 8 of 12. 2nd and 8. Lone setback is Hayward. Martin in motion. Eric Martin, good catch at the sideline for a first down. Gilbert on the coverage.
Eric Martin is doing everything so well this year. He's running good patterns. This is a nice, crisp pattern. And you're going to see him come up on the right side of your screen. Bobby's going to roll to that side, set up in back of his offensive tackle, and he fires this one off to Eric Martin. And watch him just reach over there, very calmly grab the ball, get both feet inbounds, and beat Gilbert on the play.
Keith Baldwin has come in defensively, replacing Keys at right defensive end. Number 96, a 6-year man out of Texas A&M, yet another free agent, cut by the Browns. Tice moves over to make it strong side left for New Orleans. Short drop, Hebert. Out to Hayward. Hayward runs over Gilbert.
You saw Gil go subterranean on that tackle. That's the only way to get a big guy like him down. You got to crawl down there and get underneath the turf and tackle him.
Well, in fact, we asked Gil about that. What do you do with that load coming at you? And he said, that's really all you can do. He said, best thing you can do is get a lot of guys over there to help.
Get some help.
First down. New Orleans driving again. Now, remember, they got to the 3-yard line. Williams put a hit on Hebert. The ball popped loose and was picked off in the air, but it is officially a fumble caught by Tyrone Keys. But they're down there knocking on the door again. 16-yard line. Hebert in the middle and broken up nicely by Fawcett. The intended receiver, the tight end, Tice.
Boy, I tell you, that's a tough spot to try to throw the football in there. Hebert really squeezed it in there because Chuck Fawcett had the blanket of protection on Mike Tice that time. I don't understand why he's squeezing in those tight areas like that. Go to those wide guys and get the ball out or dump it off to your running backs. That's a tough pass to throw inside.
We saw Chicago beating Detroit. McMahon leaving the game with a concussion. And Minnesota squeaking by Tampa Bay. A tough loss for the Buccaneers. They've had several of those already this season. Second down. Reuben Mays nearly ran into his quarterback Hebert on the handoff. They made a good adjustment, got inside the 10-yard line. About a 6 or 7 yard gain.
Yeah, he got a key block out of Jim Dombrowski, number 72. Watch him at the top of your screen. Now he's going to be working against that defensive end. Now watch, you see that shoulder slam there? That's what gets that defensive end upfield, and that gets Reuben Mays freed up to go down that field. Once you break past the line of scrimmage on the draw play, those linebackers are back in those zones, and there's nothing but room to run.
Inside the 20-yard line, San Diego 33% giving up points defensively. Below the league average. They have been a tough defensive team. Hebert, and it is incomplete, intended for Robert Clark, number 89. First-year receiver from North Carolina, spent most of last year on injured reserve. So it's 4th down, and that'll bring on Morton Anderson, the hero of the Monday night.
San Diego loaded up on the blitz. That time didn't really give Hebert any time to set up and throw. He had to get it off in a hurry.
Anderson with the game winner against Dallas on Monday night. And they'll put the ball down for him at the 18-yard line, a 28-yard attempt for Anderson. And it is good. So the Saints finally on the board, and they have had the ball much of this second period, but nonetheless they still trail 14-3. Go where the Chargers opened the scoring early. Rookie Anthony Miller, a 47-yard touchdown catch from Babe Laufenberg, and then almost immediately after that a block punt gave them a 14-0 lead. Roy Bennett on the score. Since that time, though, Dan, what's really significant, 14 minutes and 59 seconds of clock time has gone to the New Orleans Saints. They've only got three points to show for it. However, you get the feeling they're starting to take the game away.
That's it. As long as they can control that ball, they'll get back in it come the second half.
kickoff. Anthony Miller all the way down to the 47-yard line, but a flag down back at the 20. 55-yard return for Anthony Miller.
Hey, they were still throwing flags 5 minutes after he ran past that area. It must have been a bad penalty. Here we go.
And it's going to come back upfield, it would appear.
Now the marker, but truly
Illegal block. 2 men, 37, 54. 10-yard penalty. And it's a first down.
That's Jeff Dale, who's in on the special teams, is one of the guys that was a cause of the infraction along with Billy Ray Smith. Tim, I was down in the field earlier, and it has to be about 85, 90 degrees down in that field. And there you see some of the players, they're trying to cool themselves off. And that thermometer is so hot, it's up around 100 degrees just about. It is blazing down there. Normally, they're very temperate here in San Diego, but today exceptionally warm.
So the Chargers have to start from back at their 10-yard line after a real fine return by Anthony Miller. Curtis Adams picks up about 5 on first down.
Tim, what I started to say earlier is when you get an early lead on a team with a lot of experience like New Orleans, now you have to really watch yourself if you're San Diego, because you fall into that little lull where you say, gee, we're ahead by a couple of touchdowns, we don't have anything to worry about. And then a team like New Orleans constantly taking the ball and keeping the ball, and that time of possession gets right back in on you very quickly.
Yeah, I think this is an important drive for San Diego. Here's a flag down. Adams again. Short of the first down on the run, got about 3 yards on the carry. Ricky Jackson made the stop, but there's a flag back at the line of scrimmage.
Normally that's holding out there on that tight end or somebody trying to get a reach block on that play. It was outside.
It is against New Orleans.
Defense was offside, number 57. That's a 5-yard penalty.
Jackson, who made the tackle, was offside.
Again, those guys look down that line of scrimmage. They're on the outside of that defense. Look down that line of scrimmage. Just sight that ball. Say, gee, am I in the neutral zone or not? And Ricky Jackson likes to crowd the ball a great deal. We'll try to get you some pictures on that, and then you can see how closely he is on that ball.
Each team has had 2 penalties. Moves it to the 20-yard line. Laufenberg, 3 of 5 passing. Hit the early touchdown strike to the rookie Miller. Play action out quickly out the right side, and it's Miller again to make it Quinn Early this time, number 87. Their number 2 pick from Iowa. Reggie Sutton on the coverage, number 28.
The Saints secondary has been blowing some tackles early in this game, and that's something I know that Jim Moore's got to be saying, hey, look, I'm not used to that. You guys are usually stickmen back there. You guys stick on people like Sweat. But they've been missing some tackles in this ball game.
6-yard gain, and it's 2nd and 4. 8:13 to play here in the first half. San Diego on top, 14-3. Adams. All the way down to the 20, make it the 31-yard line. A flag down, however, back at the line of scrimmage.
Some more dirty laundry out there on the field.
Nice piece of running by Curtis Adams.
And some poor tackling again by the secondary of the Saints.
And it looks like they're going to bring it back. Unhappy crowd reacting.
Well, that happens every now and then. You get those little punch
Illegal
plays.
block in the back, number 82. That's a 10-yard penalty. And it's 2nd down.
Rod Bernstein, the H-back, with an illegal block.
That happens sometimes. You get those punch plays up in there, and a guy is running away from you because you're blocking to the sideline. He turns his back on you. That's when the official looks in on the play, and then you get the penalty, and you look at the tape later on. You say, gee, that was a good block. But the official turns around and sees it just at that second when the defender's back is turned to you, and that's when he throws the flag. And that flag came late on that play.
Well, an unfortunate turn of events for San Diego. A big play by Curtis Adams. He's in there for the injured Gary Anderson, sitting this one out with a thigh injury suffered during the week in practice. Laufenberg quickly out to Jamie Hollins. And Holland has the first down near the 35-yard line of San Diego. Holland, the second-year man from Ohio State. And Jakes made the tackle.
You know, this San Diego team is a real true test in character for a lot of young individuals. These guys came in without a whole lot of publicity and without a whole lot of fanfare. And they just come in and settle down and done their jobs, and they work hard. They work hard during the week. They work real hard on a Sunday afternoon. And as a result, they find themselves in a lot of football games where people think they're going to come in and blow them out and have a nice weekend in San Diego. It's not happening down here.
They've only been beaten badly once, and that was by Denver the first time around. Laufenberg under some pressure now, rolls away from it. Trying to find an open man, he'll run it. Knocked out of bounds near the marker. And he would have got about an 8.5 on that little backflip at the gymnastics in the Olympics.
But he looked like he was drowning in the grass when he was trying to turn the corner.
But he got the first down to the 45-yard line of San Diego.
And then you see his rushing yardage, fifth best among NFL quarterbacks. He's actually the second leading rusher on this team. And that's mainly because of his scrambling ability, or lack of it, I should say. He turns the corner and just makes something happen there.
Well, his coach Al Saunders says he's kind of like Horatio Alger of the NFL. He's been cut 7 times, and he says, I've still never been around anybody with so much confidence. First down, Chargers. Tight end Cox intercepted by Jakes. Down to the 27-yard line. Quinn Early made the tackle.
Van Jakes makes a beautiful interception here. Now watch him just step in front of Babe Laufenberg's pass. Now on the left side of your screen, that's where he's going to come up at. He'll be number 22, Van Jakes. Now watch him step in, just reach in and grab this ball. It was tipped actually by the receiver from San Diego. Now he takes off on a nice little run, but he gets slow walked here by Quinn Early, who comes downfield and gets the tackle.
Arthur Cox just couldn't bring that pass in. The ball was there for him, but Cox unable to bring it in, and the deflection picked off by Jakes. So tough break for Laufenberg there. The Babe is at the sideline, going to the phone immediately. And New Orleans, first down at their own 20, at the San Diego 26-yard line. See if they can turn this around. Hilliard hit hard at about the 21-yard line of the Chargers. Fawcett and Bayless.
I tell you, Mike Tice, the tight end for the Saints, had a nice block on the corner. He stayed with Tyrone Keys all the way to the sideline, and that's John Tice. I'm sorry, his brother's Mike Tice. He's another tight end in the NFL, but he took it all the way to the sideline that time on a good block on Keys.
So it'll be second down at the 20-yard line, just outside the 20. Saints in good position here to make something happen off the interception. 6:20 still to play first half. They trail 14-3. Hilliard, another smack on Hilliard. Holds on to the ball. Fawcett been a force tackling for San Diego all season long. Billy Ray Smith right there with him.
But Chuck Fawcett is one of those guys that he's telling us a story about. He played minor league baseball in the Toronto organization, and we met with him yesterday along with Billy Ray, number 54 there. And he's telling us, he said, hey, look, there's nothing like minor league baseball. He says, you ride those buses all the time. It's not like being on the Madden Cruiser.
Not quite the same.
So he found himself in Medicine Bow somewhere, and he knew that was time to get out and go back to college. He went to Maryland and graduated, and he's now out here playing for the Chargers.
Third down, a long one for the first down. Big defensive play for San Diego here. Hebert gets some time, now forced out. And it is almost intercepted. Keith Browner got a hand on it. Tice, the intended receiver. Well, Bobby Hebert said this was the best-looking defense they had seen on videotape, and they're seeing it now live.
And here, John Tice is actually laying on Keith Browner's leg, and that prevents him to get up and get the interception. Keith Browner's another story, another reclamation project out here for the Chargers. They're becoming like the Raiders South here in Southern California, getting all these guys who were former high choices who didn't make it with some other team, bringing them out here and letting them play for them.
Anderson will attempt from the 25-yard line. A 35-yard field goal is good. So the Saints get 3, but the Chargers keep them out of the end zone once more. 5:17 to play first half. Tim Ryan with Dan Jiggets back here at San Diego's Jack Murphy Stadium. And a reminder, the next Saturday, a CBS Sports special. We'll have that Mercedes Mile on 5th Avenue, 2 o'clock Eastern, 3 o'clock Pacific time. And that's the one where they go straight down 5th Avenue, no turns at all. Does that make it any easier, do you think?
I'll tell you what, if they gave me a Mercedes, I'd drive straight down there myself.
Well, the kickoff taken at the goal line by Anthony Miller, and this guy can fly. Gets out to the 27-yard line. The rookie from Tennessee who has a touchdown in his pocket already. 27-yard return. Jack Murphy Stadium. Nice crowd on hand. Not a sellout, however, here in San Diego on a beautiful sunny afternoon. 14-6 San Diego lead. They struck first on the 47-yard touchdown. Babe Loffenberg to the rookie Anthony Miller. And today, even the rushing game going better for them. Last week against Denver, not much. 13 rushes, only 20 yards on the day.
And the key there is they're doing it without Gary Anderson today.
Curtis Adams has been carrying that rushing load and doing it well. Loose ball. Adams dropped it. Saints say they have it.
It appeared that he never really got the handoff cleanly on the exchange. As a result, the Saints pick it back up. Now look at Jim Moore. He's saying, hey, look, let's go now. This is our break in the game. Now we take it down and put it in the end zone for a score and get ourselves right back in the game. We get the touchdown. We're only 1 point down. Jumpy Geathers picks up the fumbled ball.
James Geathers, the 5-year man from Wichita State, recovers the loose ball. A fumble by Curtis Adams. Might have been Frank Warren who just disturbed him enough to knock that ball loose. 2 turnovers now by San Diego. And New Orleans at the 25-yard line. Bobby Hebert at the controls. Hilliard out of the backfield has the pass for a gain of about 7, maybe 8. Inside the 20. Stopped by Gary Plummer, number 50, the linebacker from California.
And see, that's that thing that works so well for Hebert. Just dump it off to those backs. These linebackers for the Chargers are going to have a very difficult time staying up with Dalton Hilliard and that group and Reuben Mays when they pop out of that backfield and then turn around about 5 yards downfield, grab the ball, because the San Diego defense likes to play that zone. So they're sitting back there. The linebackers are back about 7 or 8 yards. That gives Hebert that time to dump it off very quickly.
Second down. 3 to go. Inside the 20. I formation. Hayward and Hilliard with a long count. Hilliard slipped as he tried to cut it back upfield, but there was good defensive positioning there by Keith Browner, and he made the tackle.
Hey, Keith Browner played that one like a piano, straight to the sideline, kept up with John Tice, strung him out to the sideline, then made his break back up underneath to make the stop. Had that play dipped back outside, Keith would have been in a little bit of trouble, but he played it very nicely, closed it down to the sideline, and then made the tackle.
Joe Campbell comes in defensively. Coleman, Sam Seal, and Jeff Dale all in the secondary now. On 3rd down and almost 5 yards required.
Look at those guys loaded up over center in that form of a blitz.
This should be interesting. Hebert gets it off, and what a catch by Hill. Touchdown. Lonzel Hill. Dan, the Chargers did everything that they could possibly want to do defensively, including good coverage by Gilbert on the receiver. What a catch.
Hey, but you know, here, Bobby Hebert, you look back there, you see that blitz right up the middle. You say, hey, if I can get it back off of there, baby, 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 I'm going for the zone. Dumped it right over there very nicely.
Well, that's a big if I can get it off.
Well, you know, you got that one-on-one coverage back there, so you say, hey, look, I'll just dump it up into the end zone, let my guy run underneath of it, and that's exactly what Hebert did.
Well, he just got the ball away in time. Anderson with a point after. And it is good. A 19-yard touchdown pass has got the Saints right back in it.
Now look, they're loaded up right over center. Now all Steve Court's got to do is make himself big. He's number 60 in the middle. They block it up inside. Abraham's got that opportunity to set up. Lee Williams didn't get there in time. One-on-one coverage. Gilbert downfield on Lonzel Hill. Now Lonzel reaches out, makes that diving catch. The important thing here, just catch the football. You get the touchdown.
So the New Orleans Saints have closed to within a point. 3:21 to go.
And look
First
at that
half.
cabbage patch.
14-13, San Diego lead. Tim Ryan and Dan Jiggets. The kickoff taken deep in the end zone by Anthony Miller. He will not bring it out. Anderson really pounded that one. Well, Lonzel Hill made his daddy proud. J.D., former NFL star. I think his dad would like the catch better than this.
Yeah, well, I call this the cabbage patch dance. Now, that's the new one now. Now, watch this now. That's a nice little step there. See, those defensive backs don't like you doing that, though. now I'm going to give him a 9 myself. That's what I gave him on that dance. Thought he had good hip movement on
I'll
it.
give him a 9.5 for the catch. I'm not sure about the dance because I couldn't identify it. It is 14-13. San Diego leading by a point now. The Saints have had the ball most of this first half since that opening series of San Diego's that led to their first score. Curtis Adams, who coughed up the ball on his last carry, picks up about 6 yards on this play. 3:03 to go here in the first half of play at Jack Murphy Stadium, and those turnovers costly to almost everybody. They have been here for San Diego.
It's really been the story of the game on both sides of the ball.
That's right, because that block punt was the second San Diego score.
Now, if you're San Diego here, you say, look, we got 2 minutes and 30-some seconds remaining in the half. Let's play it kind of close to the vest now. You don't want to take any chances. You're going in to the half, at least up by 1 point. Try to run that clock out and take advantage of the offensive opportunities provided for you, but you don't get greedy in this situation. Here's Lonzel Hill. He's still getting congratulated by the fellas. He's taking it easy over there on the sideline.
Curtis Adams close to the first down. They'll come in and measure it, and Frank Warren, who made the tackle, a little slow to get up. Talking with Frank yesterday, he's happy to be a starter. Last week, his first time as a starter in the Monday night game against Dallas. He was introduced out here today. Said, I bet that's something you're looking forward to at home. You have a home game if you can get him to introduce the defense.
Well, you know, I can identify with a guy that's been around 8 years and then finally gets a chance to start. I can remember going through that same kind of thing myself. And what it does, though, is a guy that's earned his way into a starting position like Frank Warren is. He doesn't want to lose it now. He's going to play real hard for the Saints because he knows how valuable what he's got is. As the officials telling us that number 60, that's Dennis McKnight, is eligible. He's out on that tight end position.
That's for the short yardage third down play by the Chargers, trying to get that first down, and Laufenberg diving for it. It looks like the spot will give them a first down. They were just short by about the length of the football, as you saw.
Now, Dennis McKnight, number 60, who's that starting left guard, he's coming out of the game now, and apparently he has hurt his arm. He's got to come out for one play as soon as you move out to that tight end position. But now you see him on the sideline, and the Chargers don't need this. He's the only offensive lineman they got up there with any real experience.
Well, they lost Don Masick this week to injured reserve because of a shoulder injury. So they are a patchwork quilt on the offensive line. Laufenberg, intended for Quinn Early, the Iowa rookie, incomplete.
And McKnight, is starting at right guard. Normally, he's played center as well for Babe Laufenberg. Now, coming into the game today, he's also got a new center, Dan Rosado. And now we said, hey, look, you got a tough time now with a new center. You're trying to adjust to him as well as this new offensive line. That's got to be difficult for a quarterback. You never know what's going to happen on any given play. You see that patchwork quilt of an offensive line.
McKnight has come back in. Derek Brills was in to replace him. So we'll go over that offensive line. You can see what they have to contend with here, and so far they're holding their own. Laufenberg, he gets time, and he really airs it out for Early, and they hit him right in the shoulder pad. Incomplete. He's complaining about the coverage from Reggie Sutton. And the crowd looking for an interference call, but and there is Al Saunders. He's furious, but you do get a little more leeway on coverage this year.
You absolutely do as a defensive back, but one of the things that you can do as a defensive back is if you're looking back for that ball like Sutton. Now let's watch and see if Sutton turns his head. I don't believe he did, and I believe that's pass interference there on early number 87. He bumped him just as the ball got there, and just as the ball was being delivered, that threw him off of his pattern. So the Saints dodged the bullet there, and if you're the defensive back, you just kind of go and hide in the huddle, and Reggie Sutton is doing that, keeping a low profile.
Well, Al Saunders is getting his day in court, but you know how that's going to turn out. We'll be back. Tim Ryan with Dan Jiggets back here in San Diego. The crowd's still unhappy about this play.
Yeah, this is Reggie Sutton, number 29. See, that's what they used to call a rake move, where you bring your hands down, strip the receiver of the football, but you got to wait until the ball gets there, and Al Saunders was just livid. And then you see him discussing the play with Ben Bright, but to no effect. They still have the ball back on their 30-yard line.
3rd and 10. Laufenberg will try again. Force from the pocket. Throws it downfield in the general direction of Miller and Darren Flutie, both down there on that sideline. They'll bring up 4th down, and Al Saunders still very unhappy. Now, you may ask about the review and the replay. It says quite specifically an instant replay resolution that we were handed by the league at the beginning of this season. Instant replay system will not include review of defensive pass interference or offensive pass interference. So that point was moot, whether or not whatever they saw on the replay would not apply. Mel Gray with the punt from the 15-yard line. To the 23-yard line, dropped there by Sam Seal, former Raider defensive back. And we have 1:34 to play now in the first half. A 54-yard punt by Ralph Mosienko. And at halftime, we'll be going to our studios in New York, where Brent Musburger, Herb Frost, Dick Butkus will have scores and highlights from all of the action that took place earlier today, and update you on the games in progress along in this time zone with us here in San Diego. First down from the 23-yard line for the New Orleans Saints, and this crowd still very upset at that last lack of call as they viewed it. First down. Hebert play action and does not deliver the ball that time to Lonzel Hill.
Well, now you start thinking, hey, gee, if I'm on the Saints now, do I want to risk losing the ball down here on my own 22, 23-yard line by taking a chance and throwing it into some form of coverage or another? Or do you just try to run out the clock with a minute 30 left?
Well, we're in the hurry up here. Hebert now 12 of 19. Ruben Hayes, what a shot from Hayes. Joe Phillips, number 75.
Oh, boy, you know what? You pulled to the line of scrimmage. Now watch this one. It's going to be down at the top of your screen, excuse me. Watch number 75, Phillips. Watch that stick on Ruben. Boy, that's that one when you get that head shot back, you know, and all of that. Phillips is another one of those guys that came here, and they just kind of find him somewhere or another and bring him up into the Chargers, and they play like mad.
There was a guy that was a free agent in Minnesota. They let him go, and he was on the replacement team. Yeah, free agent divot digger there.
This looks like a polo match down there in that baseball infield. They're replacing that turf. You see all the minions come out every now and then and stomp the turf down.
Wait a minute. Polo match. When you were at Harvard, is that what you did on Saturday afternoons? You went to the polo matches.
Yeah, and see, there's Bubba. I like him. He's got the hat working for him and all the rest of that to keep that sun off. He's an offensive lineman, former offensive lineman there.
The ground gremlins out here doing their job. That's where the infield dirt was for the San Diego Padres season just recently concluded, and some loose turf. And Al Saunders still working over the officials. That looks like the back judge, Al Jury, taking some more flack over there. Yeah. Saunders.
You don't want to be over there when the coach is upset.
3rd down and 9, New Orleans. They trail by a point. Hebert gets it off, complete to Eric Martin for a first down, out of bounds. Clock stops at 1:13 to go. And they're now out to close to the 40-yard line. Let's see where they spot this ball. It'll be at the 37.
Now watch what Bobby Hebert does here. He throws the ball on the out pattern. He knows the only guy that can catch that football is Eric Martin. Otherwise, it goes out of bounds or goes to the ground. But what he's doing is protecting himself at the same time while he's trying to make an aggressive move offensively. Every pass that he's thrown down here inside has been those kind of out patterns that he knows is going to drop to the ground, and no one will be able to intercept it. Now, he's got a little bit more free movement. He's up around his 40-yard line.
And it is at the 39 where they spot the ball. First down. 3 timeouts still left for the Saints. And again, out on the right side sideline to Robert Clark. Picks up about 6 yards. Clock stops again with 1:07. So the Saints are going to have an opportunity to do something here, Dan.
Yeah, you know, and they've been setting it up very nicely with those out patterns. Now let's see a little out and up maybe.
And 3 timeouts still to work with, more than a minute to go. You can see that the Chargers have the higher average gain in the passing department. New Orleans typically throws this short pass that we're seeing right now. It has been effective for them. It uses up time on the clock. And they have just been grinding it out here to close the margin to within a point.
I would not be surprised to see him go to Brett Perriman on this play.
Brett Perriman, the rookie from Miami, they haven't thrown his way yet. Carl Smith is calling the first time out here, just as Hebert was calling for the ball to be snapped.
And currently what happened is they had 4 wideouts in the game. They had 3 loaded over here to the bottom side of your screen. And then Perriman was up at the top. Perriman got the attention of Carl Smith, and they called a timeout for the Saints. A little mix-up there in the passing game. You know, if you see those 3 wide receivers lined up on that side, you generally think a big bend play. You know, you sit them down and let one guy try to tip it to the other, but there's 1:06 left on the clock. So this is the way what you do is you flood 2 guys into one area, bring the other guy up underneath and allow him to make the reception. That's the only way that you can truly get back to the inside of the field without taking the chance for the interception.
And let's see what they do here as the ground gremlins are back out there pounding turf. And Bobby Hebert's got the play that Carl Smith wants called here. They have a second down. They've got 4 to go for a first. And really a lot of time with still 2 timeouts to use. 1:06 still remains. 14-13. San Diego struck early. Laufenberg, a 47-yard touchdown pass to rookie Anthony Miller. And then they got the blocked punt by Vincey Glenn, recovered by Roy Bennett for a score, and they led 14-0. The Saints have had their way since then. In and out of the hands of Brett Perriman. Well, they went to him, but he didn't hold it.
Yeah, he should have had that one. A little lack of concentration when that ball gets in there. You got to take it, because now the pressure is on and nobody wants excuses. And the last guy to offer an excuse is a guy like Brett Perriman. This guy comes from a winning program in Miami, knows what it's all about, knows how to get the job done. That time just made a little mistake.
And he made such a big play against Dallas on Monday night that set up the winning field goal. There you're looking at a man they call Big Country, Les Miller, just coming off of that defensive front. Les Miller from Fort Hays State, Kentucky. Kansas born. Third down. Inside handoff for Hilliard. And Hilliard is going to be short of the first down, it would appear. Mike Charles and Jeff Dale reacting well, and now we're under a minute and counting down.
Thinking there, get the first down, move the sticks. That way you get the short timeout. And now they've got Brian Hansen on the field. Apparently they punted away.
Well, yeah, they didn't get the first down.
Nope.
They need about a half yard more. So the Saints, with 30 seconds and counting down, at the very worst, will be punting the ball or just using up the rest of this clock. Lionel James is back for it, but he may never see the ball.
Fake punt, possibly?
We'll find out. And he's going to kick it. And just gets it away. Short punt, and it's going to be downed at about the 19-yard line.
Well, I tell you, Billy Ray Smith really took Brian Hansen out. Hansen can barely get up off the ground, but what happened was Billy Ray, number 54, claims he was blocked into him. Now here's a look at it. Now watch Billy Ray Smith come out of the right side of your screen, and he's going to get blocked before he gets there. He's up in the air. He's airborne now, and he gets chipped just as he's getting up in the air. There you see the block, and he flies into the punter. Now, new rule this year, if you get blocked into that punter, they give you that shot on him.
There's Billy Ray Smith. So 3 seconds remain, and you've got 1 play left for the San Diego Chargers. Ryan Hansen going a little gingerly back to the New Orleans bench. And the Chargers are just going to use this up. They've got everybody bunched in. They've got the 1-point lead. And they will take that into the locker room here at Jack Murphy Stadium. So it's San Diego with the deficit there on the passing yards, and that really is predicated on the fact that the time stands in the favor of the New Orleans Saints. 132 yards of passing, mainly because they've had the ball that much more, Dan, and San Diego simply can't allow that to happen in the second half where that 1-point lead isn't going to last long.
That's right, because it's simply been miscues by the Saints that have cost them a great deal when they got down in scoring territory.
Well, the Saints will have the ball first. Ruben Mays returning the kickoff, dancing through nicely out to the 24-yard line. And New Orleans will start there. So it's a situation here where Hebert will be looking at a fired-up San Diego defense that has played well through 5 games and has got to get pressure on him early on here to get the ball back.
You know, Ruben Mays was an all-pro running back for 2 years, and Jim Moore told us the other day, he said, look, this is the guy I have to start working into games. I've got to get that ball back in his hands and maybe get him 16 dashes per game.
Rushing has not been their strength in the first half. Mays carried it 5 times for just 17 yards. And they go to the air with a short pass out to Hilliard. This is what they do so well. Hilliard gets about 4.
And when you really sit down and analyze that passing game, that short passing game like that, that's really a toss play or a quick handoff. It's only 5 yards. He's just flicking it downfield. And there you see Carl Smith. He's the offensive coordinator. He's sending all those plays into Bobby Hebert.
Well, and one thing, too, you're missing Steve Trapillo and Hobie Brenner, 2 of your better blockers on the offensive line. So the kind of running attack they have when they're in the lineup isn't quite the same without them. Hilliard trying the left side, picks up about 2. It'll leave 3rd down and 5. Billy Ray Smith on the tackle.
Well, you know what Bobby Hebert is doing is trying to tantalize that defense of the Chargers with that, they run that ball up in there, and then they come back with a little play action off the same movement. So you keep the defense off balance, but really what the Charger defense has been doing is saying, hey, look, we're going to play everything tough and just come right at you, not give you time to set anything up.
Joe Campbell comes in, Fawcett comes out, and Seal, Coleman, and Dale all in the secondary on the passing down. 4 wideouts for New Orleans. Hebert timing sideline complete to Eric Martin. Leonard Coleman, number 31, had the coverage, but perfectly delivered for a first down. New Orleans into San Diego territory at the 49.
Now this defense is really somewhat like an eagle that the Rams run or a bear defense. So you see there's actually only 2 down defensive linemen in the game. One-on-one coverage outside. Eric Martin recognizes it right off the ball. He does that fade to the sideline where he knows he can only catch the ball, and as a result they get about a 20-yard gain out of the play.
To the 49-yard line of San Diego. First down, New Orleans, down by a point. We're just underway here in the second half. Hilliard, hit by Williams, takes it back the other way. Gets a block from Hebert and turns it into a 5 or 6 yard pickup.
I tell you what, Lee Williams looked like a cat that was chasing a mouse. He pounced on Dalton Hilliard, and then Dalton got away from him, and he's kind of like, shucks. Now watch right at the bottom of your screen. You can see number 99. That's Lee Williams. He's going to come in and just break this play up. Now watch the nice little move here by Dalton Hilliard. He avoids the big cat and takes off and gets some yardage on the other side of the line. Nice cut blocking back on the back side of this play, and that allows him to get past the line of scrimmage.
Yancey Glenn made the tackle for San Diego, and Williams was the guy who was looking at a big loss, only to see it turned into about a 5-yard gain. Second down. 1 setback in this formation. Martin in motion. Hebert in trouble. Unloads it. Nice catch by Lonzel Hill. Joe Phillips was right on Hebert. He got the ball away, and Lonzel Hill turned it into a 4-yard gain.
Bobby Hebert. He's told us to say hello to Birdie Hebert. She's back in Galliano, Louisiana. And watch him dump this one off. The guy from Cutoff, Louisiana, he gets off there, avoids the sack there by Phillips, and here's the end result. Now watch him just dink it downfield to Lonzell Hill. Beautiful. He's fading back, throws the ball into Lonzell Hill. Lonzell makes a shoestring catch and later gets tackled. But that was a beautiful pass and reception. Excellent effort.
He's down a 3rd and 1 for the Saints. And Hilliard will be very close to the first down.
And to get back to that Bobby Hebert story, Birdie Hebert is his grandmother, lives down in Galliano. Birdie
Hebert. You know she's looking in.
That's right. He promises us next time we're down there, she's going to make us some chicken fricassee, as they say down there.
I'm looking forward to that. On Monday night, when they beat the Cowboys, that was her biggest thrill on behalf of her grandson, because she told him a long time ago she was a Tom Landry fan. And she liked those Cowboys. All of a sudden, her son's in a big game, her grandson is in a big game against him and wins it. So she was a very happy grandma on Monday night. And we have a first down, New Orleans at the 39-yard line. And speaking of mothers and grandmothers, I'd like to say hello to mine. I'm going to indulge myself. My mother, 84 yesterday, Helen Ryan up there in Victoria, B.C. Great football fan watching us today.
She keeps track of everything around the National Football League.
Yes, she does, and the Canadian League. First down. Out of the I formation. Hebert's going deep. Broken up by Bird at the 4-yard line, intended for Lonzell Hill.
Well, I tell you, that was role reversal there. Lonzell Hill actually reached in and broke the play up for Gil Bird. Gil Bird had him covered very nicely on the coverage. Watch on the left side of your screen, up near the top. Watch Gil Bird. He looks like the receiver on the play. He goes up, and now watch Lonzell reach in with a great defensive play and slap the ball away. That might be a defensive back.
That was a bit of a wounded duck there from Hebert. He's not used to throwing that long ball anymore. You know, they've turned him into one of those little short possession type passers, and
he's got a rusty gun.
That's
now.
right. He's going to complain about that. 2nd down and 10. Used to be routine for him. Reuben Mays breaks out of traffic and gets down to the 24-yard line. Fine piece of running by Mays.
You know, he's a guy who's really had a lot of injuries the last couple of years, and now he's finally coming back into his own. He's getting healthy again. Now he punches this one off the right side of his offensive line. Excellent blocking, and just keeps those legs moving. Watch him avoid the tackle that pull away and get some extra yardage. Now tries to punish that defensive back. He said a little karate kick just as he was going out. But this guy is a guy who I think is coming back into his own and is going to be dangerous in that Saints backfield later on this season.
Coming off a knee surgery and Achilles tendon surgery 2 years ago. But apparently he's made a fine recovery, just a little behind physically getting into this season. Hebert on first down. He's got Hayward wide open, and Hayward gets down to the 10-yard line. First down, New Orleans. The big young rookie, Craig Hayward.
Now watch number 21, though. That's Dalton Hilliard. Now he's going to have to pick up a linebacker or a safety on the blitz. There you see him now. He got a beautiful tackle there, and that allowed Craig Hayward to catch the football downfield. But Dalton Hilliard ought to get credited with a tackle, at least in this ball game.
Are you saying that he tackled the guy rather than legally blocked him?
He tackled Martin Bayless.
Glenn and Fawcett were the two guys who pulled down Hayward, and that's a tough task at any time. First down at the 11-yard line. Hebert gets time, and it's in and out of the hands of Hayward. Hebert had some mustard on that one.
Boy, I tell you what, Billy Ray Smith had some mustard on it, too, and it just slipped off his hands. He didn't have the hot dog in the bun, though. And just as that ball was coming up over, he reached up, and you know, it seems like the Chargers linebackers have had a problem intercepting passes. There's been about 4 or 5 passes that have just been off their fingertips today.
Oakland very close to a sweep of Boston in the 8th inning. 8-3-1 over the Red Sox. I'll keep you up to date on that baseball score. 10th play of this drive. New Orleans continues to grind out the clock, keeping the ball away from San Diego. Mays escapes. Blocked from Martin. Good reaction out the opposite side by Jeff Dale. But he got away from Mike Charles, and now Oakland has gone on top 4-1 in the 8th inning.
You know, that shows you that the defense, though, in that situation there has good discipline. They stay at home on that backside, so you don't run any reverses back there, because when Ruben came back to that other side, you know, normally there's a lot of room to run over there, and hey, they had 3 or 4 guys waiting on the corner for him.
Well, it turned into about a half yard at the most. They did a nice piece of running, but it was mainly horizontal. Hilliard in the backfield with Hebert in the shotgun. 2 receivers out to the left, 2 out to the right. Hebert lobs it in for Martin. Touchdown! Eric Martin from Bobby Hebert, a 10-yard touchdown pass, and the Saints go on top for the first time today.
Right into your living room, Bobby Hebert. Now watch Eric Martin fade away on this play. Now watch him just pull away and drop to the back of that end zone. Here comes the ball, and see him fade away. That defensive back saying, gee, where is he at? And he's just pulling away from him, heading right towards the back of the end zone. He makes the reception. 6 points, New Orleans.
Hebert has certainly mastered that timing lob-type pass.
Yes, he has.
And he's just really laying those balls in, and we've seen several of them today, and he showed us that same technique in the Monday night game. Very refined passer. 12 plays, 76 yards. Here's another look at the touchdown pass.
Eric Martin here, nice little move inside. Now watch him fade back. See that pull away? That's what's important for that receiver to get open, because he knows that in line is back there, and the defensive back can't get between him and the football.
Now there's obviously a replay going on here. Dixon Holman, and the question may be, did he have full possession?
Touchdown.
And evidently they say yes, he did have control of the football before he stepped over the end line.
Well, isn't that special?
Dixon Holman, the replay official, having a look at that before they hit the point after. Orton Anderson has it up, and good. And so the New Orleans Saints have taken the lead here for the first time in the game, 20-14 on that catch. Who's that digger down there in the straw hat? That's Dave Long, folks. He has been a busy man out here. He's working harder than the ball players.
We're going to call him Bubba Long. No.
Dave Long, part of the special crew they got here today to keep that turf tent down for the football game. Kickoff taken deep in the end zone, and again, Anthony Miller electing to not bring it out as Anderson pounds it into the end zone again. Well, next week, we're going to have these two teams matched up, Miami and Notre Dame. The Fighting Irish yesterday over Pittsburgh, 30-20. Miami was idle. They will meet next week. Number 1 against number 5 at 2:30 Eastern Time. Was kind of a Tony day for the Fighting Irish yesterday, Dan.
I knew you were going to bring up that Fighting Irish score. You went to Notre Dame, and you're beating me up because my college team lost, but I think that's going to be a great game.
I didn't mention the fact that Harvard lost.
That's going to be a great game. Notre Dame and Miami.
First down, the Chargers, their first possession of the second half. Curtis Adams nowhere. Now the clock has been all in San Diego's favor, in New Orleans' favor. This is the first possession by the Chargers, and they have 9:20 remaining in the third quarter. So Laufenberg being asked to do extra, as you see the defense getting their instructions.
That's Mike Haluchek. He's the linebacking coach for the Chargers, and he's in there telling those guys, hey, look, you've got to stop these guys on the next series on time of possession. They're killing us. And there you see the numbers, 25 minutes to 10.
Well, Laufenberg being asked to do a lot more in a lot less time. This is Quinn Early. And he may get a flag. He does, as he was hit after he had run the ball out of bounds. Brett Maxey with a late hit out of bounds. So that first down play is going to be extra.
And here you see right at the end, Brett Maxey, number 39, is going to fly into your screen, and he's going to get that late shot on.
Foul number 39. That's a 15-yard penalty, and it's a first down.
That's a tough spot to be put in, though. You come all of that way, you're flying anyway, and you got to try to make the stop on the sideline. You have no idea if Quinn Early's going to go out of bounds or not if you're Brett Maxey.
Oh,
and you're coming about 15, 20 yards from across the field.
Dan, I got to disagree with
Hey,
you
if
there.
you run that far, you're going to hit somebody.
Yeah. Well, you can, and you get the penalty, and
Hey,
you feel
turn around.
good. Right.
Maybe hit the official. I don't know.
But there wasn't much doubt about that. Early, he'd run himself out of bounds. It wasn't like he was hit at the sideline. He was already out of bounds. So you got to pull up,
the
duck him,
fact is,
whatever.
he shouldn't have been running out of bounds. He should have been going down the field.
Well, they got a first down and then some. Laufenberg, complete. Early. First down, San Diego. Inside the 35-yard line of New Orleans. And Laufenberg says, hey, if I had the ball a little more in this game, I can do something with it. They'll spot it right at the New Orleans 35. Reggie Sutton made the tackle.
Reggie Sutton had nice coverage on that play, but that ball was extremely well thrown by Babe Laufenberg. Now, the Chargers are doing exactly what they needed to do right now. That's get down here and try to go for the end zone and get a touchdown. Get back in the ball game.
Curtis Adams stuffed by Colbrand. Colbrand came in for Pat Swilling. You know, we mentioned Swilling has started the game bothered by an abdominal muscle pull and wanted badly to get in the entire game. He started, but has not been able to stick in there defensively. Colbrand, there's Swilling on the sideline, number 56. Colbrand, number 55, taking his spot. So Swilling playing cheerleader. 2nd and 10.
There's that turf again. Now they have the officials in the act.
Babe Laufenberg from Crespi High in Canoga Park, California. On assorted schools and NFL teams since that time. And he has dropped. First sack of the day, back at the 44-yard line. Joe Colbrand.
Yeah, Colbrand made a nice blitz move on that play, and he beat Broderick Thompson. Broderick was on a double read. He had to check up front and see who was over top of him. Nobody there. Pull out and get Colbrand coming in on the blitz, and he did not make it. Colbrand made a nice move, and Broderick Thompson's actually lucky he didn't get a holding penalty.
All the way back to the 44-yard line. You look at that San Diego line. Ken Dallafor, a free agent, a 4-year man who was cut and re-signed this year by the Chargers. Broderick Thompson, a free agent from Dallas in the USFL on a 3rd year. Dan Rosado, a 2nd-year man from Northern Illinois, another free agent. And at ninth, the only true veteran, David Richards, a rookie draft from UCLA. That's their offensive line. And they scrap. Anthony Miller makes another good catch.
You know, all of that may be true, but I guarantee you can't find anybody on that Saints defense that cares right now that all those guys were free agents, because these guys are playing their tails off. Now watch this ground level. He gets good protection now, Babe Laufenberg does, and he finds his receiver downfield. Look at that protection. He's got all kinds of time. Late he gets hit, but he gets that ball downfield, and it's delivered. Nice pass and catch.
Anthony Miller got just what he needed for a first down at the 25-yard line, a 20-yard gain. Atkins and Waymer on the tackle for the Saints. So Laufenberg delivers. Play action. Quick pitch out there, incomplete. Intended for Quinn Early. Reggie Sutton had the coverage. You know, Laufenberg saying there's a flag down on the play. Laufenberg was saying that all of those schools that he attended, we told you about Stanford, Missouri, and Pierce College, and Indiana. He says they all send him asking for alumni contributions. Says the mailman thinks there are 12 people living at my
Illegal
place.
formation on the offense. The tight end was covered. They refused the penalty, and it's 2nd down.
Illegal formation charged against San Diego and refused by New Orleans. It'll bring up 2nd down.
It's only a 5-yarder anyway, and what happens is that wide receiver's got to be up on the line of scrimmage. If the tight end is on your side, then he's got to be off, and that was not the case on that formation.
So Anthony Miller goes out wide to the right. Quinn Early out to the left. We've got 2 real speedsters now, wide receiver here in San Diego. They're only going to get better. And that is Curtis Adams. He has done all of the rushing today for the San Diego Chargers. Gary Anderson out with a thigh injury.
Curtis Anderson's going to take advantage of what Broderick Thompson is doing over there on that left side for him. He and Ken Dallafor. Now let's watch the pit framing here. Good pass protection there. You see, that's a setup for a draw play, and that right away that defensive line for the Saints is thinking, hey, it's pass protection, so I'm going to rush in there. And as a result, Adams is able to slip out underneath of there.
Last week, San Diego rushing against Denver had only 20 yards total on 13 carries, and Adams has got 49 himself today. Well, Oakland will go to the World Series. 4-1 over the Red Sox, a sweep in the American League. Laufenberg under pressure, just got it off, and it's incomplete. Early didn't even get turned around because Ricky Jackson was pouring in on Laufenberg. He just unloaded.
Ricky Jackson, number 57, is going to bring the pressure right up the middle into Babe Laufenberg's face. Now, if you're Quinn Early, you got to say, hey, look, sight adjust off the blitz. Get back there and turn back and look to your quarterback right now because he's going to have to dump that football off if Ricky Jackson's right in his face. That time, Quinn Early, a little bit inexperienced, didn't turn around early enough to get the reception.
Well,
excuse me for that pun.
Well, they've got two rookie receivers. They're going to be great, but they're still pretty green. And the field goal try by Abbott is good. So San Diego is back in front. Tim Ryan and Dan Jiggetts, Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego, where the San Diego Chargers have just scored on a 35-yard field goal by Vince Abbott. And I had them back in front. That is not the case, of course. New Orleans leads 20-17. San Diego's field goal, reducing that margin to 3. We have 5:11 to go here in the third period. And Abbott will pick it off. Ruben Mays from the 2-yard line. To the 27-yard line of the New Orleans Saints. Chargers going 73 yards in 10 plays before their field goal by Abbott. And finally getting the ball for 4 minutes and 29 seconds.
Don't ask me where he came from. We're down in the desert.
I'm not sure what the deal is there.
I don't think he is.
Unless these are called the San Diego sheep. He looks like a shepherd to me, but that's about all I can come up with. First down. Tice, the tight end, in motion. Reverse. Brett Perriman, and well played. Number 25, Bensy Glenn, had it all away.
Tim, remember we said earlier on the reverse there by Ruben Mays when he broke back across the other side of the field, said, hey, look, he didn't find anything over there because this Charger defense stays at home on the backside. Reverses are not going to work against them when you come back to that backside. Those guys stay at home, and they don't allow you to get that reverse action on them.
Good discipline. Bensy Glenn, the third-year man from Indiana State, came over in 1986 from New England. Loss of a yard. Second down. Hilliard. Good defense again. Pete Browner on the corner. Well, let's go to Brent Musburger in New York for an update on the baseball situation.
Tim Ryan, 2 out in the 9th. Dennis Eckersley on the mound for Oakland, and Jody Reed pops it up, and this will do it. The Oakland A's have swept the Boston Red Sox. Eckersley, the most valuable player of the championship series. They'll play either the Mets or the Dodgers starting next Saturday night in either Dodger Stadium or Shea Stadium. A's sweep. Back to Tim.
All right, Brent. Well, the A's can just sit back and watch the rest of the National League Championship Series. Bear in and out of the hands of Perriman. Got a good hit from Sam Seal, number 30. Yet another free agent acquired from the Raiders this year.
And we did a Raiders game earlier in preseason. This guy was starting in the secondary for the Raiders, was playing exceptionally well for them at that time. Kind of a surprise that he was cut loose. And Brian Hansen is back to punt.
Hansen hits it from the 17. Lionel James stopped at the 40-yard line. But pretty good field position here to start for the Chargers. They trail by 3. 3:11 to go. Third quarter after the 40-yard punt. Little minor scuffle on the field.
suddenly.
3:11 to go, third quarter. Saints on top 20-17. There's Jim Mora, the head coach of the Saints. His team off to a 4-1 start. A special day for him. His son, Jim Jr., is on the coaching staff of the San Diego Chargers. It's the first time that they have ever been in this situation, coaching against each other. Son Jim is the staff assistant to the defensive coaches of the Chargers, so a really special day today. Laufenberg scrambling, and he is dropped right at the line of scrimmage. Naturally, everybody, Dan, asked Jim Sr., well, now who is your wife Connie going to be pulling for? Husband or son?
And she said, whoever brings home the paycheck, and that's Jim Sr.
I think that was his suggestion to her. Yeah, she'll be rooting for the guy who brings home the paycheck. Well, that's great, though. Pretty exciting
Yeah, the other thing,
circumstance
he
for
says
him.
that Jim Jr. wouldn't give him any kind of tips on what the Chargers were going to do, so he didn't get anything from him at all.
Yeah, his son reminded him that this is war, Dad. 2:31 to go, and it is a war in New Orleans, leading only by 3. I say only because, after all, they were a heavy favorite. A 4-1 team coming in against a 2-3 team that many thought shouldn't even be 2-3. Laufenberg gets it out to the tight end, Rod Bernstein. Bernstein, the H-back, sometimes lines up as a tight end, came here as a tight end.
And there's a flag on the play, and it looks like that's the area where usually it's holding on the offensive line.
Would have been a gain of 5. We talked about this ragtag lineup they have across the front. 20 free agents on this team, and the offensive line truly a
Offensive
patchwork
holding,
quilt.
number 66. They're going to take the penalty, 10 yards, and it's second down.
That's Dan Rosado, the center, who just recently replaced Don Masick, who's been there for 13 years. And there's Jim Jr., that's Jim Mora Jr., and he's up there in that coaching box for the San Diego Chargers. It's a few boxes down from us, as a matter of fact.
Dan Rosado, typical of the offensive line problems for San Diego. Here's a second-year player from Northern Illinois. Nobody drafted him in 1980. He was out of football for 4 years. Went to a free agent tryout in Houston with the USFL Gamblers, made that team. Played there and then tried out with Miami. Was cut. Here he is with San Diego. Intended for Lionel James out of the backfield, incomplete.
Little train, if he had been about maybe 3 inches taller, he'd have had that one.
A big train.
Yeah,
Might have caught it.
yeah, he's a tiny train, though. He's a little engine that could.
Phoenix continuing to look good.
Tim, to get back to the Rosado story, his wife also gave birth to a son this Friday, so it's been a very busy week for him.
Has it ever?
He gets the start for the first time here for the Chargers, and then he also is the father of a new baby boy.
Laufenberg now 7 of 16. And there's been no miscues at all between Rosado and Laufenberg. Now third down and 19. Laufenberg trying to find an open man and takes off with the ball, and he's got a first down to the 45-yard line.
Boy, I tell you what, they're going to call him Crazy Legs Babe because that little shake move that he put on Jim Wilkes. Wilkes couldn't believe it. He's standing there looking at him. He goes, I can't believe he's going to do this move. Now watch on the left side of your screen. Now, Babe can't find anybody downfield, so he tucks it in. And Wilkes is standing there. He says, I got this guy cold. And now he's crawling after him. And now watch Babe. He's going to take a little fade into that sideline. Ooh, he gets rolled up there on the New Orleans Saints sideline.
Laufenberg got 32 yards rushing today.
Gave that little limp leg to Wilkes and just slid it out of bounds there.
Big play by the Babe. First down to the 46-yard line. This is Adams. Not much for Adams. A couple. Curtis Adams, the third-year man from Central Michigan. And he just slid in toward first base.
Yeah, he was safe, too. I tell you, though, what happens with these baseball fields is they have to replace the baseball diamond with turf by a certain time in the season, in the NFL season, that is, unless there are playoffs, and there are none here this year in San Diego. So what happens is that stuff doesn't get time enough to root when these games are going on. Also, Wyoming played San Diego State here last night on the same field.
So they have a second down. About 8. Bernstein in motion and sacked. From the backside, Colbrand, and right with him, Sam Mills. Well, Laufenberg had absolutely no opportunity to get away, and he has now been blooded.
Now, what you're going to see is number 55, Colbrand's coming, but also inside 51, Sam Mills. And outside, you see number 60, that's Dennis McKnight. He goes out to pick up Ricky Jackson, but they got 2 linebackers coming inside along with the 3 rushmen. They don't have enough people up front to block them. You send all of those running backs out of the backfield. Nobody's back there to protect your quarterback. That's how come so many quarterbacks are going down. John Madden made that comment earlier on the NFL Today. You send all the people out of the backfield, there's nobody back there to help out your QB.
So it's 3rd down and long for Laufenberg, in trouble again. And he wheels it out of bounds. Smart play there. Incomplete. They'll have to punt, but no loss of yardage. Now we have been told that this gentleman is Moses, who came all the way from New Orleans, and he is working overtime here, pleading to the deity to keep things going in favor of the New Orleans Saints. Apparently walked across the desert to get here. Amazing story.
That's what my question was going to be, is how did he get here?
Well, I'm told he had to divide all the waters and cross the desert. What a guy, huh? All right, I guess he's big down there in New Orleans, and we apologize to all of the Whodats down there for not knowing who Moses was, immediately recognizing him. Good punt. Bobbled into the end zone by Mel Gray, and it'll be a touchback. No, it'll be a safety.
What is Mel Gray doing fielding a punt on the 2-yard line? Common sense tells you, hey, look, let the ball go. You're on the 2-yard line. Then you see him. He's back there. He's back. Now he's inside the 5. He catches that ball in his foot, plants on the 2-yard line. There's no way you're supposed to be fielding punts back there. And that's the result. Bad things happen when you don't play smart football.
Now that ball, the ball came down, went in there off of Mel Gray's mouth. And we'll be back here at San Diego Jack Murphy Stadium in just a moment. Well, the Chargers have Mark Malone warming up, the former Pittsburgh quarterback.
And Tom Selleck look-alike.
Yes, and it was a touchback, just to clarify that if you were wondering. The ball went in off Gray. It was a muff. He didn't have possession and then take it into the end zone, so there was no safety. And it's just a touchback. He was able to recover the ball in the end zone. And on 1st down, John Tice out to the 40-yard line. 1st down, Saints. Hebert on the mark to the big tight end, Tice from Maryland. 21-yard gain on the play. Whether we'll see Mark Malone or not, we'll find out in the next series. Frankly, I think Laufenberg has been doing all right. Now, whether he was injured or whatever, I don't know. But I wouldn't be giving him the hook just to give him the hook, would you, Dan?
No way. He's been doing a good job for the San Diego Chargers today.
Well, his 1st down at the 40-yard line. 20-17. Saints lead by 3. Craig Hayward. 1st down to the 45-yard line of San Diego.
That time you saw Bobby Hebert looking up, and what he was looking at was Martin Bayless was out on the corner. You can't see him. He's just out of the frame now, but he's going to make the stop eventually on Craig Hayward. So they went to a little punch play right at the middle. Now you see Bayless, 44, coming over to make the tackle, but Bobby Hebert thought he saw him on the strong safety blitz. He said, fine, if you're going to come in here and blitz, I know I got one-on-one up front. I'm just going to send my big halfback right at you.
Big halfback is right. San Francisco by 4 over Denver in the 3rd period. And the 49ers trying to keep pace with the Rams. Winners earlier today over Atlanta. Saints trying to do the same thing. Hayward again gets about 6 inside the 40.
He may be a halfback, but he's a full load when he's running that football. I'm telling you, this guy can move, too, for a guy that's 260 pounds or maybe just a little bit more. This guy can play some football out of the backfield. Nice soft hands on the reception as well.
Fawcett and Bayless combining to pull him down that time, and it usually takes more than one. Down, 5 to go. Saints on the move. San Diego territory. That defense has been out there for a long time today. Maybe starting to take its toll. Hayward bounces off one tackler and is dropped for a loss. Billy Ray Smith and Lee Williams. Loss of about 3.
You know, Lee Williams was telling us the other day, he says, look, we got to gang tackle this guy because he's a big back. And indeed, that's what they do. Lee Williams, number 99, is at the top of your screen. Now watch him come across on the draw play, and now he drops back into the picture as well. Joe Phillips misses the block there, the tackle, excuse me, and Lee Williams comes in and makes the stop along with Billy Ray Smith.
You know, if they get Leslie O'Neal back, which could happen fairly soon, they're going to have 2 outstanding pass rushers, the Chargers will. And there's that time of possession really putting some pressure on the San Diego defense. They are getting overtime pay today. Hebert from the shotgun. Incomplete, flag down, intended for Robert Clark. Interference, the likely call against San Diego.
Roy Bennett just reached in there about a half a second too early. The ball was being delivered, and that's when he jumped in there. Got to wait till that ball is delivered.
Defense, number 23, pass interference. That's a first down.
Number 23 is Roy Bennett. He just reached in just a split second too early.
Roy Bennett, 13 interceptions to lead the Canadian Football League last year. He's from Jackson State. Yet another free agent, and starting for the injured Elvis Patterson, who was injured in the game against Denver a week ago. First down now. New Orleans at the 35-yard line of San Diego. Ruben Mays, about 4. Joe Phillips on the tackle.
Boy, I tell you what, there were some nice key blocks out there on that side by Dombrowski, number 72, and Tice, number 82, the tight end, both for the Saints. Nice block up there. Tice took Browner out of the picture, and then you had Dombrowski cleaning it up, and that left a nice running room up there for the running back.
Well, the New Orleans Saints would go to 5-1. They'd be tied for the lead in the NFC West, and it would be their best start ever. Best back in '86. Second down. Mays picks it away for about 3 more to about the 27-yard line. Now Laufenberg and Malone warming up here on the sidelines. It may have been that Laufenberg was just shaken up a little bit, perhaps on that run along the sideline, and that's why they had Malone up and getting ready.
Yeah, because he got a good shot, and he rolled right over on his neck, and I think that was what the problem was. He appears to be okay. Now, if you're the New Orleans Saints, you're down here now on about your 27 or so. You say, hey, look, now we've got it with this offense we got now. Let's keep chipping away at it. Don't get greedy now, and don't get nervous. Just take it in there for the score, and that's what you're up by 10.
Third down and 2. Incomplete. Under pressure, he was short, intended for Lonzel Hill. It'll be 4th down, so the Chargers got the pressure on Hebert and bring up the 4th down.
And look at Bobby. He's screaming at himself now because just like he jumps on those other guys in that team, that's the way he gets after himself.
He's quite a young man, isn't he?
He's a remarkable young man. He says he's really settled down now, and he's gotten his life together. He's married, he's got a couple of children, and he said a good night to him now is to be out with his family and be at home with his family and settling in for the evening instead of playing that New Orleans street scene.
4 minutes and 34 seconds they've used up on the drive here, and that has really been damaging to San Diego. Anderson slipped on his field goal try on the loose turf, and the ball is short. A 45-yard attempt, but he fell down kicking the ball. We'll return after this word from your local station.
Of the National Football League is sponsored by Coors Light. There's no slowing down with the Silver Bullet. It's the right beer now. Pontiac, we build excitement. And by Wendy's old-fashioned hamburgers, the best burgers in the business.
Tim Ryan and Dan Jiggets at Jack Murphy Stadium, 20-17. They wanted to add 3 more, but watch what happens here on that loose turf where the baseball infield dirt was. Morton Anderson slipped at contact and came short.
But the key is Morton Anderson didn't have cleats on. He's got turf shoes on, and that's why he slid.
And on first down, Laufenberg airs it out for Quinn Early, and it is overthrown incomplete.
Morton Anderson is wearing AstroTurf shoes. They don't have any cleats on the bottom, so when he planted, that turf came right out from underneath of him. You see those little tiny cleats on there? Here's a good look at that shoe. Now look at those little tiny cleats. He doesn't have any spikes on there, and as a result, that's what makes it even more slippery when you step on it and you don't have anything that's gripping into that grass.
Morton Anderson, the Monday night hero against Dallas, winning the game on the final play of the 49-yarder. 2nd and 10. Laufenberg just gets it off, incomplete in the general direction of Bernstein. Pressure from Wilkes, and Laufenberg a little slow to get up.
Along with his center, Dan Rosado, looked like he had gotten banged up. Excuse me, that's number 65, the right offensive tackle, who had a tough time getting up off the turf as well, and that's Dave Richards. And here he comes off the field now. He's on the sideline.
There you're looking at Mark Malone and whether he'll get to play or not. At this point, you've got a 3-point deficit. Laufenberg, in our judgment, has been doing well out there, so I don't expect we're going to see Malone unless things go badly the other way. Lots of time left. Laufenberg overthrowing. Again, pressure from the Saints. A flag down at the point of contact. Miller, the intended receiver, and Reggie Sutton had the coverage and put the hit on. Let's see whether or not they're going to rule out interference.
Boy, I don't know how they could. Kareem Jabbar couldn't have caught this pass. Now watch this play now. Sutton's going to come back in and get a little submarine move here.
There's no penalty. The pass was too high to catch.
There you go, just as you call it, Dan, even for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yeah, he'd had a tough time coming down with it.
I've seen Miller go up high twice today, but not that high. I think it would need an extension ladder for that one.
Well, one of the things you know about Babe Laufenberg is sometimes he's going to throw it high. He's going to throw it somewhere where you don't want it. But then again, he's going to come back and get a big strike for you. That's the kind of player that he is. Slightly unpredictable, but very exciting.
Babe Laufenberg said, well, we've got to get some scores this week because if we don't score, they're not going to replace the left tackle. They're going to replace the quarterback. They haven't done it so far. He's got some points on the board. And that is Mozienko's punt, taken by Gray at the 25. Gray cuts it loose. Fine return out near midfield. Bernstein finally stopped him, but what a burst of speed by Mel Gray. And we'll be back with the Saints on top by 3. We are back at Jack Murphy Stadium. You can see Bobby Hebert having another fine game. Starting with a 14-0 deficit. He's thrown now for 206 yards and 2 touchdowns, and the Saints are on top 20-17. San Diego is just refusing to go away, however. They're scrapping like they have through the first 5 games of the season.
Well, that's one of the things Jim Moore told us the other day. He said, hey, look, I know these guys are going to keep fighting it right into the 4th quarter. They don't know how to give up. That's a characteristic of this San Diego team. A lot of free agents on it, but they come here and they're going to play you right down the line.
Now, they've made a couple of big plays. They had a block punt back in the first half. They're only down by a field goal, and there's still 9:40 to go. So I have a feeling there's still lots more excitement ahead here at Jack Murphy Stadium. First down for the Saints. A good punt return. There's Babe Laufenberg, and apparently he was hurt on that scramble up the sideline. He's being taped. A 22-yard punt return by Mel Gray has New Orleans out near midfield. Reuben Mays gets 2 or 3. We commented on how he got pounded on that scramble up the sideline. He also got buried on that last play during the last possession. Just after he let that high pass go, he got hit hard.
That's right. He and his offensive right tackle, both of them got dinged up on that play. And there you see him. He's got that rib case going now. He's got a pad on there to protect himself. And there's Mark Malone he's getting that arm warmed up because he's going to have to see some action.
You saw that Rams score 33-0 over Atlanta, moves them to 5-1 atop the NFC West. And New Orleans victory would keep them tied. San Francisco leading Denver. They could also move to 5-1. Log jam in the NFC West, depending on the outcome of these games. Second down. And Reuben Mays gets maybe 2 as he's stacked up by the middle of that Charger defense. It'll leave 3rd and about 5. And the word on to Laufenberg, a bruised ribs, Dan, and will probably not return. You know he'll try to come back, but it may be that we're going to see him alone.
Well, you know, he's a street fighter. This guy, you know, they found him the first time when the Washington story about him being down here fishing down on the Baja, and the Washington Redskins were trying to find him desperately when they wanted to re-sign him. And I guess it took him a couple of days to get back in touch with the Redskins. And that was a few years ago.
Yeah, and that was the 3rd time the Redskins had brought him back. They knew that the kind of guy that would make a valuable backup. But the Chargers, the first team to give him a shot as a starter. Hebert. Complete for a first down. Leaping grab by Robert Clark out of North Carolina. Spent last year most of it on injured reserve.
And you know, the thing that really impresses you about Bobby Hebert is he's so calm back here. He knows this passing game so well. There you see, flooding inside, one receiver back outside. He picks the middle guy and goes to him and gets the reception, and that's Clark on the reception. But Bobby Hebert was telling us the other day, he says, now I know this offense so well, I'm comfortable back there. I'm not worrying about where people are supposed to be and all that, because I know as soon as I take that snap, I know where people are supposed to be and I get the ball to them.
What an asset that is for both Hebert and the Saints offense. You can see that poise and confidence on every play. First down, 36-yard line. Hebert sideline to Tice. He's got it, but out of bounds. About 2 feet away from making that a nice first down reception for John Tice.
2 big feet.
2 big feet,
He
right.
tried to get him in.
Tried to get him in at the end line there on an earlier play back in the first half. Couldn't quite keep him in bounds.
Well, you know, he's a Long Island guy, so I have to look out for him when I see him. Every time I have a game with him, I always try to take care of him. All us Long Island guys have to stick together.
Big John Tice.
Now let's watch this replay now and see if indeed he does drag his feet in. There's the ball coming in, and now he's got to get the tip tap. And he does. He gets that other toe in there on the inbound play. And the officials didn't give it to him, but the official is back up field.
Well, a close call, and it may be that the replay booth is looking at it as we speak.
Boy, I tell you what, it really looked like he dragged both feet inbounds, and then he went out. 2 big feet inbounds. Now here you go again, right there on the left side of your screen. Now the important thing here is, do both feet drag before he goes out of bounds? There's one, and there's the other one. Indeed, both of them are inbounds. They've got to reverse that call.
Boy, that's a great play. You know, when I saw that and called it live,
Replay official is going to reverse this call. It was a good catch.
and it is. As he was coming at us, I must say, Dan, I didn't think that he was inbounds. But again, you're watching the play coming directly at you. It's on our near sideline here. But on the tape replay, it would appear that was the case, that he tapped that other toe down. He did have possession of the ball, no doubt about that. First down, New Orleans inside the 20.
Well, strike one for TV.
Well, or for instant replay.
Instant replay.
Yes. No, that's not my favorite color.
I'll get you going sooner or later.
First down inside the 20. New Orleans now up to 231 yards for Bobby Hebert. Laufenberg 102. And again, that wide disparity mainly because New Orleans just keeping the ball, passing effectively and running it well enough. And San Diego not able to stop these long drives. Hayward blasting ahead for about 4. Craig Ironhead Hayward out of the University of Pittsburgh. Phillips and Fawcett combined this time. That's 275 and 245 pounds combining to stop him.
Well, you know, the thing that strikes you about Hayward is he may not know how good he is and how frightening it is when he's running at you. I mean, that's like an offensive guard pulling around every time and carrying the football.
Moore and Jim Finks both saying he was the best athlete available in their first pick. I mean, that really means a lot. Best athlete. He can do everything. Eric Martin diving for that, but it's off the mark. Good pressure from Phillips on Hebert.
You know, Joe Phillips reminds you of a lot of those defensive tackles in the league, though. He's number 75 there. You see him, he's got the glass thing working for him and all the rest of that. But he's like one of those dirt guys. You know, he just gets in there and plays hard. That's what you expect out of those defensive tackles. They're not going to do anything fancy. They're just going to play hard and work that offensive line every play. They don't give you a break.
But he's kind of a Hollywood guy, though. You know, he plays in that 1st and 10 series on cable TV.
Well, that works into the whole thing, too.
He looks the part.
I never said they weren't hands.
3rd down and 8. Hill, Clark, Perriman, Martin, 4 receivers in. New Orleans would like to get this in the end zone, take some of that 3-point pressure off. The fade is there and incomplete. Incomplete, did not have possession. Robert Clark, according to the official on the sideline.
I'll tell you one thing that Robert Clark got to do is calm down. You saw Lonzel Hill pull him off that official, because you will get the flag in that end zone arguing the officials and demonstrating. Now here's the play again. Now watch, he's going to try to fade back out of bounds. He makes the reception there, but he's bobbling the ball, and that's the key on the official. There you see him, he's right on top of it. But I think that he caught that football in the end zone. Now if you come down with the ball, you have to have possession of it. That's what the official's looking for. But that official was behind the play when he tried to call it.
Yeah, he did not have a view. The back judge, I believe it was Al Jury, did not have a view of the ball from what we could see on that replay. And I must say it appeared to me that Clark had it. Anyway, field goal attempt is up and good from Morton Anderson. And the Saints increase their lead to 6 points. A 34-yard field goal by Morton Anderson, 23-17.
There's Robert Clark on this. Is the play that was so controversial just before we broke to commercial. Now Clark catches the ball, but he's bobbling it, and you see the official right there on top of the play. He says that no, he was out of bounds and he was bobbling the ball when he went out, so he won't give him the play. But boy, I tell you what, that looked like a one-hand catch to me, Tim, on the sideline.
Well, it did, and looked like he might have been obscured by the player's body in seeing the play. However, on the replay we just showed, it does appear that he was bobbling it from one hand to the other. So we're going to give Al Jury the good call on that one. Anthony Miller elects to not bring out that kickoff one more time. And this gives us the opportunity here to bring it up to the 20. To remind you that next week on our college football coverage, Notre Dame, who beat Pittsburgh yesterday 30-20, will take on number 1 ranked Miami. And the Hurricanes idle yesterday. Will be in quite a matchup next Saturday at 2:30 Eastern Time. Miami at 4-0 against Notre Dame at 5-0, 2:30 Eastern Time.
Now, are you neutral on that game, Tim?
No.
I like
I'm not working the game. I'm just going to watch
That's right. And being a Notre Damer, you have to go for it.
Mark Malone is in the quarterback. Laufenberg leaving with ribs injured. And nowhere to go for Curtis Adams, as the New Orleans defensive front just steaming in there. Elliott, Clark, and the linebacker Von Johnson. And you can see how the Chargers got off to such a good start, but the New Orleans Saints chugging away, just playing consistently without any panic, have chipped away and have taken the 23-17 lead.
And that's the sign of a quality team. You spot somebody 14 points, and you come back and you get on top in the ball game.
Loss of 3 on the play, 2nd and 13.
Screen.
Malone is in his end zone. And then connects to Early. Fine pass play by Mark Malone.
Malone dropped back. He wanted to throw the screen over to his right side, and then the defense for the Saints are going, now we know what that play is. So then he had to fade back and run around a little bit, and always on the screen, you're working the other side of the field. So he came back around the other side to his left side and found the receiver open over there.
Good job of improvisation.
Absolutely.
Malone was 7 of 14 against Denver last week after they lifted Laufenberg. Since they had not scored a point in that game, Malone got some time with 7 of 14. 3rd down and 2. From the shotgun, a low snap. Malone recovers well and then throws it over the head of the intended receiver, Quinn Early.
Now, one of the problems you have is when you start doing those snaps in the spread formation or shotgun formation is that if the center's not used to doing it, you're going to roll that ball back a little bit, and that's what happened that time to Mark Malone.
Dan Rosado is not used to doing that long snap, and that's something that's difficult because you got to snap the ball and then move out and block to one side or the other. And it seems simple, but it isn't when somebody that's 280 pounds is on your forehead.
Ralph Mozienko in the punt for the Chargers. Mel Gray back, standing at his 21-yard line. Another dandy punt by Mozienko, the leading punter. Gray dropped by the first tackler at the 24-yard line. That was Rod Bernstein. 56-yard punt by Mozienko. 4:19 to go. New Orleans by 6. Dan Jiggets in San Diego. The Rams beat up on Atlanta earlier today, 33-0. And San Francisco continues to lead Denver 13-6 in a squeaker in the fourth period there. Here it is 23-17 with 4:19 to play regulation time. And so if you project the leaders, the Saints and the 49ers, we will have a three-way tie for the top at the end of this afternoon's play. Saints have had the ball 35 minutes, 18 seconds to 20 minutes, 23 seconds for San Diego. And Dalton Hilliard on first down crawls his way for about a 4-yard pickup where Mark Charles put the stop on him. Remember that punt, Dan, by Mozienko was a 56-yarder for San Diego.
You know, you hate to say that your punter's having a great year, but he is, because he gets a lot of action. But also, he's just been kicking exceptionally well this year.
Averaging 49.3 today.
That's another defensive tool.
Absolutely. Coming into the game, he was averaging 48.1, so he's over his seasonal average for 5 games. Second down. Long count by Hebert.
He's checking off.
And he gets a flag. Hilliard picks up the yardage.
Yeah, he drained the 30-second clock, but he was trying to check off, and they wanted to run that quick pop right up the middle.
Martin Bayless made the stop. Illegal procedure signaled against the Saints.
Illegal motion, number 84. 5-yard penalty and a second down.
Eric Martin, wide receiver number 84. So that'll back it up to the 24-yard line. 3:22 and counting down. Saints protecting a 6-point lead. Their 4th penalty. Chargers have had 5. Early miscues by the Saints put them into a hole, 14 to zip down. But they have battled back to take the lead and are now trying to keep the ball as they have been able to do so successfully throughout the game on the clock. Dalton Hilliard, another nice piece of running, picks up about 8 yards.
That time, what you saw Bobby Hebert do is he saw Martin Bayless walking up in the line of scrimmage, strong safety number 44. He actually pointed to him, and then he checked off and got the audible in.
Chargers take a timeout as Fawcett and Smith made that last tackle, and they come off.
Now watch Bobby Hebert. He's going to pick his hand up and say, hey, look, 44 are on the blitz. Strong safety blitz, check off. Now they're going to pull around on that right side, get a nice block out front there by number 63, Brad Edelman. And watch Craig Haywood. He pulls up now. He makes the block on Bayless, and that allows Dalton Hilliard to slip up inside.
Well executed. Bobby Hebert just continues to show his maturity and poise out there as the field general of the Saints, getting him into the playoffs last year with quarterback and off to a 4-1 start.
That's it. You see how cool he was? He just points to the guy. Right now, he lets the offense know what's going to happen. You got to make those adjustments if you're an offensive lineman. You know you got to pick up that strong safety. He's going to be right in your face when you pull and hit the corner, so you're ready for it. And why? Because your quarterback has allowed you the opportunity to prepare for it by calling and telling you that it's over there and then calling the audible.
So Hebert ready to go again here on 3rd down. Long one needed for a first down. Big play here for both teams. 2:44 to go. Chargers have to stop them. And they did. And they did. Joe Phillips making the hit on Hilliard. And now the Saints will have to punt. We'll have 2:30 and counting. Well, wait a minute. My goodness, I thought they stopped him, but the spot of the ball at the 35-yard line Well, never jump on those close ones, Dan.
Well, you know, they did. They came right back with the same play as that lead with the O blocking, the backside blocking, and they came back with the same thing. Now you're going to see Brad Edelman pull out. Craig Hayward's down the block there by Steve Court, number 60. Then you see Edelman's block now. Hayward goes up inside. And see what Dalton Hilliard does is he gets right in the slipstream right off of Craig Hayward, and he's a big guy. You know, he kind of pushes up in there, and they get the first down.
Boy, he got it right on the money. Good job by Hilliard. We reached the 2-minute warning. New Orleans by 6. Tim Ryan with Dan Jiggets back here at Jack Murphy Stadium. 2 minutes to play. And I guess that's a lightning bolt there for the Chargers. And they're going to have to really get charging now because it's a first down for New Orleans. And credit to Dalton Hilliard and the offensive line. I didn't think they made it, but he just squeezed it through, and they've got a first down at their own 35.
Well, he just got right in there behind Craig Hayward. And, hey, that's a good guy to get behind. And he slipped right up in that line of scrimmage and got the first down. That was the key play. Now the Saints have a chance to put this ball game away with 2 minutes remaining.
In formation right, Eric Martin goes in motion. Give it to the big guy, Hayward. Gets a couple just on bulk. Chargers take their second timeout with 1:54 on the clock. So the Saints will just try to keep possession of the ball, something they've done well. A chance to remind you that tonight on CBS, the season premiere of 60 Minutes, 500 of the Phalanx weapons are now aboard U.S. Navy ships. Do they work? Did someone fake the test results to get the Navy to accept them? It's the season premiere of 60 Minutes tonight on CBS. Then it's Murder, She Wrote, starring Angela Lansbury, followed by the CBS Sunday movie Liberace, Behind the Music. Victor Garber stars as Liberace. That's all coming up tonight on CBS. And we'll be back there at the hotel watching that great evening of entertainment.
Denver and San Francisco scored and tied up at least at 13 apiece. So that game has a big impact on these guys.
13-13 in the fourth up there. Here it's 23-17 Southern California. New Orleans on top. Hilliard carrying a tackler with him, Roy Bennett. Picks up about 7, maybe 8 yards on the play. It'll be third down and a yard. Final timeout taken by San Diego with 1:45 on the clock.
Now, if you're Jim Moore and the New Orleans Saints, you're saying, hey, look, now we need about a yard here. What do you go back to? Do you go to that short pop passing game that's been so successful for Bobby Hebert, or do you simply run Craig Hayward back up into the line of scrimmage once again?
Well, Hilliard, 53 yards rushing on 16 carries. He's been their busiest rusher today. And he's been the guy they've been going to in those tight ones. Hayward's got 37 yards on 8 carries. Mays 47 on 11. So everybody getting into the action in terms of the rushing game for the Saints today. But Hilliard has been the busiest.
And what I would do is I would send the lead play up in there, let Hayward, number 34, go in there first, and then send Dalton Hilliard right behind him. And I think that's probably what the Saints are going to do. When they know they need that short yardage, there's nobody better to lead block than number 34, and that's Craig Hayward.
Late defensive substitution for the Saints. Fawcett comes in at the linebacker spot, number 53. And they've got 7 men along the front. Hilliard bounced back, takes it wide, has the first down. Dalton Hilliard pulled down by Leonard Coleman, or he might have made it to the end zone. But the defense had done a good job on the initial hit, Dan.
That's exactly right. What happened was they did lead with Craig Hayward. He led up into the hole. Dalton Hilliard bumped in there, couldn't find any room to run, so he bounced it back outside. And he was one tackle away, and that's Leonard Coleman's tackle away from breaking that thing for about a 55-yard touchdown.
So yet another big offensive play for the Saints, getting the first down to their 47-yard line with 1:07 and counting down. John Elway connected with Vance Johnson to tie up that game up in San Francisco at 13-all with 6:23 remaining in that game. And now the Saints will just try to use 2 plays and run down this clock. 46 seconds and counting down, and New Orleans will move to 5-1, tied with the Los Angeles Rams, and dependent on the outcome of the game in San Francisco, either way they'll have a share of first place as they had coming in today, and they stay right there atop the NFC West.
Well, once again, New Orleans doesn't blow a team out, but they get by, they win. And you know what Jim Finks was saying to us earlier? He says, hey, I just want to see the W's in the column. Maybe you don't win as pretty as you'd like, but you win.
Well, they have been a very solid football team on both sides of the ball, and I think that confidence that came with their success last year, they're bringing into each game here this season. And they might not explode and beat you by a bunch, but they just win, baby. Jim Mora will walk it on out here as the clock goes down, and credit to the scrappy San Diego Chargers team. They fall to 2-4.
Two first-place teams, the New Orleans Saints and the Seattle Seahawks, battle under the Kingdome before a sellout crowd of 65,000. This is the story. In the NFC West, the Saints off to their best start. They've won 5 in a row, tied with the Rams for first place. Meanwhile, in the AFC West, the Seahawks have first place all to themselves. And good afternoon again, everyone. I'm Dick Stockton. Certainly one of the best matchups of this season. These teams are evenly matched, and if there's one thing to break that balance of power, it could be a factor. That one thing could be Kurt Warner, the outstanding running back of the Seahawks, second in the AFC in rushing, has hurt a groin, and right now in practice he says he's ready to go, but he may come up short. And Dan Fouts, in a game like this, what kind of an effect would Warner not being 100% beam to Seattle?
Well, he's really their main guy, Dick, and two men have to pick up the slack. Number one will be fullback John L. Williams. Number two is their rookie quarterback Kelly Stauffer. As for the Saints, well, they are 5-1, but they really have not beaten anybody yet. They're heading into the meaty part of their schedule, and today's game may be decided by two men, the great field goal kickers for each side.
All right, Dan, and the Saints have won the toss. They have elected to receive, and they're the Seattle Seahawks who will be kicking off. Norm Johnson will do the kicking, and back for the Saints will be Mel Gray and Reuben Mays. Gray is on the left, Mays is on the right. Saints have won 5 straight since an opening loss to the 49ers in New Orleans. There is Reuben Mays, who returns home. He played at Washington State. Norm Johnson set to go. Seattle 4-2 on the year. They're a game ahead of Denver. And the Seahawk fans out in force today. This one is underway. Norm Johnson with a kick. Mel Gray at the 1. And Gray brings it out to about the 17-yard line, and a penalty marker is down. Darren Miller makes the stop for the Seahawks. Pat Haggerty is our referee today.
Holding, number 54, offense, holding.
Alvin Tolles was holding, so that's going to put Bobby Hebert in a bit of a hole here as he brings out the Saints on the first series of the game, looking at the Seattle defense, and here's the way that looks. Jacob Green, Joe Nash, and Jeff Bryant up front in the 3-4 defense. They're banged up. Bruce Schultz, Brian Bosworth in particular is hurt. David Wyman and Tony Woods are the linebackers. In the secondary, Melvin Jenkins and Patrick Hunter are the corners.